locally over the past 67 years. We're growing to meet the needs of our members with access to a local ATM network and 24-hour access to your account. We're member-owned, and we're inviting you to share in our growth. If you live or work in Erie County, you're eligible to become a member. We're Erie School Employees Federal Credit Union, where you get financial solutions from local people you trust, serving our membership one member at a time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Live from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's a high school special Saturday night football across the state of Pennsylvania as the Cathedral Prep Ramblers from Erie entertain nationally ranked Cleveland St. Ignatius. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. Happy you could join us. And Rob, this is a dandy game against two pretty storied tradition-wise teams, and we'll talk more about that. First, here's the kickoff. And a muff by St. Ignatius, but Kamelik picks it up and breaks a couple tackles, brought down at the 17-yard line. We mentioned St. Ignatius, Rob. They're ranked 13th nationally. They're only ranked 3rd in Ohio.
And that shows you how good the football in Ohio is. But, you know, fresh in the memory of Cathedral Prep and all these players, and Mike Mishler, of course, is the fact that this team lost, talking about Prep, lost last year 28-0 to the St. Ignatius team. Now, certainly they have an uphill climb today because this Ignatius team is loaded and they're very deep. But, hey, you never know what can happen. They have the hometown crowd tonight, and we'll see if that can make a difference. Also, there's a penalty on the opening kickoff. So from the point of the foul, half the distance, the Wildcats will start 1st and 10 from their own 3. Number 7, Brian Hoyer, the quarterback. The starting running backs, 21, Joe Palco. 11, Tom Fritsch. 27, Kevin Collier. 14, Chris Rigo. The wideouts, Mike Massey, a good one at tight end, number 87. The tackles are 79, Mike Sheridan, and 74, Mike Einon. Guards, 69, Andy Lombardo. 72, Steve Miller. In the center is 66, Jay Janicek. They come out with 3 wideouts, 2 to the right. Here's Hoyer back to throw. Prep with some pressure on him. They get it out to Massey, and good coverage that time for the Ramblers. Looked like James Carson on the coverage, and he wrapped up Massey. That was a pretty interesting play call right from the end zone. They went into the shotgun formation, and I think that shows you how much confidence that St. Ignatius has in their star quarterback, Hoyer, because to let him go back in the end zone like that and try to pass the ball out, he made the throw right on the money, but that was a terrific play made by Carson.
They actually just had Kamelik as the only running back. Now they go back to Fritsch with Palco behind him, 2nd and 10 from the 3. Give is to Palco, and he stopped. Tackle made by 36, Andre Massey. Andre Mathis will set the Prep defense for you. The ends, 34, Bob Reisenweber. 44, Tim Taylor. The tackle, 65, TJ Dabrowski. 77, Deshaun Lindsay. The linebackers, 45, Josh Parsons. 36, Andre Mathis. 49, Ryan Drabina. Corners are Tyrone Buckner and John Chiodo. The safeties, James Carson and Mike Savelli. Pickup of 1 on the play brings up 3rd and 9. The ball on the 4-yard line. Backs are split. Hoyer drops straight back. They get pressure against him. Deep pass down the sidelines and caught. What a throw by Brian Hoyer.
Looked like Jeff Dayton on the reception down the right sideline, and that was a terrific throw. You said it. That's about as good as it gets as far as making a throw under pressure, because Prep was pressuring the quarterback that time. They got to him. They went around the offensive line, and just a terrific job to stay in the pocket and make the play. Brian Hoyer showing off the arm, and that's why he is headed to Michigan State.
Nice job by Dayton, too, looking back over his shoulder to make that catch. 46 yards on the play, 1st and 10. The Wildcats from midfield. Here's Palco up the middle. Mathis with the tackle, but not before he gains about 4 yards.
You know, it's something I know that Mike Mishler wants to focus on today, is to try to stop the big play. That was one big play, but that's something that this St. Ignatius offense really has a habit of doing to the opposition, especially in the early going so far this season. They have the big play. Not so much 5 or 6 yard runs, but 20 to 30 yard runs, and the big pass play, and we just saw one there.
Wideouts to either side. Backs in the eye behind Hoyer, 2nd and 6 from the Prep 46. And good pressure by Reisenweber, and he sacks him. Boy, that was good pressure by the entire line. Taylor was in there too, but it was Reisenweber from his left end.
That was a total collapse of the offensive line. Really supposed to be a strength for the St. Ignatius team, but as you said it, there were 3 or 4 Prep players in there, and Reisenweber just came straight unblocked. No chance at all for Hoyer to get rid of the ball.
So this brings up a 3rd and 15.
This has been a pretty impressive start for this Prep team, and I think that's what they needed to show some poise and strength defensively on that line.
Double wide to the right, single back is Fritsch. Hoyer to throw, great protection, and a good catch. Wow, Palco just snatched that out of the air. Finally knocked out of bounds by James Carson. But at the Cathedral Prep 34-yard line, that's a pickup of 21, and that's another Wildcat first down.
You know, you hear people talk about the pocket being set up as we have an injury on the field. It looks like Prep number 36, Andre Mathis Jr. is down, and they're tending to him right now. But you talk about the pocket all the time, and that was the picture-perfect pocket. I mean, Hoyer simply stepped up because the rush was coming around him, stepped up, had a huge cushion to throw the ball in, and he found his receiver wide open in the middle of the field to pick up the first down. But that was a terrific pocket set up, and not a bad job by Prep rushing the passer. They just could not get inside of that pocket.
Tonight's football game is so big and special, it's been selected by the Pennsylvania Cable Network as the PCN Game of the Week special. It's kind of like ESPN Plus. Normally games on Friday night, but with St. Ignatius coming into town to face the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, it was certainly our pleasure to put it on the schedule and PCN's pleasure to pick it up and broadcast it statewide. So we hope that y'all are enjoying it. We also hope that it's as nice a night where you're at across the state of Pennsylvania as it is here, because there may not be better nights for football than this evening.
What a gorgeous night for football, and that's what Chuck Kyle Chico, the head coach of St. Ignatius, said for the first time that we talked to him. He said, what a great night for football, and he's absolutely right. This is perfect weather, and let's see if Cathedral Prep can do a better job of trying to get to the passer Hoyer, because that's really been how they've gotten down the field so far.
1st and 10 from the Prep 34. The give is to Palco. Breaks one tackle and then brought down in on the stop for the Ramblers. 34 Bob Reisenweber, also 44 Tim Taylor. Trying to check who it is who's replaced Andre Mathis, and it's number 38. Looks like Nick Lopez in the middle. It is.
And Lopez was the guy who missed that tackle just there, allowing for there to be a 3 or 4 yard run. You need to wrap up on that first try of a tackle, or else it could be a long day for Prep.
Hoyer with a 3-step drop, and a nice pass out in the flat. Pass caught by Chris Rigo. Again, good pressure by Prep, but Hoyer shows why he's a big-time Division I recruit, as he took the hit and completed the pass.
He took the hit and kept on ticking. That was a terrific shot laid on by Cathedral Prep, but Hoyer showing the poise and the presence to stay in there and make a money throw right on the money to his receiver. But they are getting pressure on Hoyer, and that's something that Prep really did not do last year.
Backs in the eye, first down. Palco tries to spin out of a tackle. Nothing doing there, and the tackle was made. Is that Mathis back in 36? It sure is. Didn't take long for Andre Mathis. It didn't look like he was hurt all that badly. Just had his bell rung a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe he got the wind knocked out of him. He was down for a while, but he's back in there, as you said.
Also in for Prep, number 9, Tony Bozic at a linebacker. No gain on the last play. 2nd and 10. Backs are split. Wide out to either side. Hoyer with a 3-step drop and a crossing pattern. Pass intended for Brian Ferry. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 10.
And that was a nice play. It was open, but just the quick slant could not be caught by the receiver for St. Ignatius. I mean, wide open, he simply dropped that ball. It's a ball that you have to catch, and he couldn't come up with it.
Actually, that was 80, not 30. That was Jeff Dayton. So Dayton splits out to the right. Rigo to the left. Formation is strong to the left side. Backs in the eye on 3rd and 10. Hoyer with a straight drop and a little flip pass out to Massey. Incomplete. Carson on the coverage. And it'll bring up 4th and 10, and we'll see what Chuck Kyle does. Actually, he's going to call a timeout. So 8:25 to play first quarter. No score on the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. St. Ignatius nothing. Cathedral Prep nothing. Back with more on the Image Sports Network and PCN.
I'm Mark Klecker.
From its humble beginnings in the basement of St. Peter's Cathedral in 1921, Cathedral Prep began as a 4-room school with just 100 students. By 1956, the graduating class had grown to 8 times that of the original class. Today, Cathedral Prep is a modern facility that is well known for its academic as well as its athletic excellence. All of us at the Klecker Funeral Home are proud of our long-standing relationship with Cathedral Prep. Cathedral Prep, developing the whole man in spirit, mind, and body.
Back at Veterans Memorial Stadium, it's 4th and 10. The ball on the Cathedral Prep 20-yard line, and St. Ignatius, after moving the ball, starting this drive at their own 3-yard line, will attempt a field goal. It'll be a 37-yarder. Number 9, Juice Kedzior, is the kicker. And the holder is number 10, John Gresh. Snap, hold, the kick is up, and no good. So Cathedral Prep dodges a big-time bullet. The 46-yard pass ends up not hurting the Ramblers at all.
You know, and Chuck Kyle,
when you need fast, reliable service for your car's radiator, come to Swedes Auto Radiator. Swedes can also service your car's air conditioning and fuel system, and they're conveniently located at 2906 French Street in Erie. Call Swedes today, 459-0640. Let Swedes Auto Radiator provide you with fast, dependable service for your car.
Chuck Kyle said that something important for his team, St. Ignatius, was to get out to a hot start like they have in their first 2 games. They're 2-0, and they've really outscored their first 2 opponents by a good margin, but this first possession, they could not come up with any points.
Dance gives to Tyrone Buckner off the left side. Buckner breaks open over the 30, out to the 35, 39-yard line. Tackle on the play made by 44. That's John Hainline. Will set the Prep offense for you. Quarterback number 8, Tom Dance. He's a threat to run, as evidenced by the fact that he's the reigning 110-meter hurdles champion in the state of Pennsylvania. Buckner 28, Marcus Graham 27, the running backs. Wideouts are 19, Brian Seacrest, and 11, Michael Freeman. Bob Reisenweber 34 is the tight end. The tackles 75, Dave Nesselhoff, and 57, Sean Nutter. Guards 65, TJ Dabrowski, 77, Deshaun Lindsay, and the center 58, Stephen Ty. 1st and 10, Prep. Ball on their own 39-yard line. Give to Buckner again, and squeezes out a yard. Tackle on the play by 91, Jermaine Whitmore, one of the guys that Coach Chuck Hoyles told us to look out for, that he's that good defensively.
Certainly Whitmore is that good, and also Mike Massey, the other guy, is the tight end on offense, but Massey on the defensive line has been just a stud for this team, and he's being recruited by Ohio State, the Michigans, and the Big Ten schools in that region. So certainly the defensive line is the strength on this defense for St. Ignatius.
Ramblers bring in an additional wideout. It's number 10, Robbie Fugate. They go single back on 2nd and 9. Give us to Buckner, right side, and he gets 2, maybe 3 yards. Tackle on the play by 45, Brian Paris. Let's set the Wildcat defense for you. The ends, 91, Jermaine Whitmore, 87, Mike Massey, 72, Steve Miller, 58, Mark Zivich are the tackles, the linebackers, and this is a good group. 44, John Hainline in the middle, flanked by 45, Brian Paris, 12, Jim Ramella. The corners, 24, Greg Bate, and 2, Jim Kamelik. The safeties, 3, Mike Ventusco, and 47, Sean Kavanaugh. Big 3rd down play for Prep. They mark it at their 43, so it's 3rd and 6. Double wide to the right side. Buckner the lone setback. And around to Fugate, nothing doing there. Wow. I don't know who made a better play on that. 91 Whitmore, 12 Ramella.
Well, they sniffed that one out right away, and that could be a problem for Prep tonight because they have to establish at least some sort of a passing game. And we're talking about the quarterback for Prep, Tom Dance, who didn't get that much action passing last week. He did throw a couple touchdown passes, but only 3 attempts. And so certainly that's something they need to at least show St. Ignatius. They can try to throw the ball and get the ball downfield. That was a passing down. They decided to go for the end around, and it did not work.
Number 7, Josh Mezzacapo back to kick. Waiting to receive, Jeff Dayton, number 80 for the Wildcats. Very little pressure, and Mezzacapo high but short. Fair catch called for and made at the 36-yard line. The Wildcats will take over from there. 5:31 to play here in the first quarter, with the Conway and O'Malley scoreboard showing Cathedral Prep nothing, St. Ignatius nothing. And it's the second time that the Wildcats have had the football. They come out quickly. In the backfield now is, as the lone setback is the reserve fullback, Brian Hertuck, number 42. They go with trips to the left side. Pass is complete. Left side to Cody Toman. Ball down to the Prep 37-yard line.
And that time Prep came with a blitz package, but it was picked up by St. Ignatius, and that's what gave Hoyer plenty of time to throw that ball and deliver one perfectly on strike. But if you're going to blitz, you have to get to the quarterback, and Prep could not do it that time.
Markel Knight, the fifth defensive back, did a nice job of covering Massey, who was the first read. But then Toman broke loose on the left side, and Hoyer threw a strike. 27 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for St. Ignatius.
Again, the shotgun.
Now out in the flat to Massey, and he's immediately met by Tyrone Buckner. Pickup of about 5 on the play brings up 2nd and 5.
Good tackle by Buckner with a guy as big as Massey is. No chance to tackle him if you try to go up top, but he went downstairs and took out his legs, and Massey was down, although he thought that he had stayed on his feet. But they ruled him down right at the spot.
But if Buckner doesn't make the tackle, they had a crossing pattern. The receiver and or the wideout and Massey had crossed sides. There was no one out on the right sideline. Back to Palco, and nothing doing there. Big time tackle made by 65 TJ Dabrowski for Prep, and a loss of 1 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
And that play was really set up by number 77, Deshaun Lindsay, and now he's a little bit hobbled coming off the field, and they have to replace him. Looks like with number 58, Stefan Teague. But I'll tell you what, that was a terrific play, penetrating and then breaking that play up.
Backs are split, wide out to either side, short drop, crossing pattern, catch is made, and a fumble, and the Ramblers recover. Josh Ketzior was trying for extra yardage and coughed up the football. So the Cathedral Prep Ramblers dodge another bullet, another turnover, and they take over 1st and 10. 3:53 to play.
And Ketzior is down right now. That was some hit that he took, not the initial tackle, but the second hit that came in. As we take a look at the replay here, the Conway O'Malley replay, take a look at this hit coming up right there. Bam. Right on the top of the torso, and that was number 2, James Carson, and that's why he's still down.
And they are still taking a look at Josh Ketzior. You know, by word of mouth, we've all heard it's one of the best forms of advertising. One customer of Keep Heating and Cooling put it this way: buying a Rheem air conditioning system from Keep Heating and Cooling was a cool experience. The Keep salesman clearly explained the Rheem's features, gave me a competitive bid, and closed the deal. I got next day installation by 2 competent uniformed Keep technicians. Keep Heating and Cooling, featuring Rheem air conditioning and natural gas furnaces. Remember, natural gas, your most efficient choice. PCN's coverage of high school sports made possible by Pennsylvania cable television companies that carry the nonprofit network on their channel lineup. If you're enjoying the action, be sure to thank your local cable company for supporting PCN.
Juice Ketzior is still trying to figure out where he is right now after taking that shot by Carson. And the other thing to think about, if he cannot continue in this game or has to miss any time, he's also the starting place kicker. He's missed 1 kick, but he is their starting place kicker as well as a receiver. And a good sign for him, he's getting up right now, sitting up, and hopefully he can continue. But that was some hit put on by Carson, I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. And he's still not quite sure. I'm sure that they're asking, what's the number on your uniform? He's got to look down to check, because I'm not sure he's got it in rote memory right now.
He's asking, what time's the bus to Erie, Pennsylvania? And they're saying, nope, we're already here.
So Cathedral Prep will take over 1st and 10.
Prep getting set to run the play, but Ketzior is still walking off the field, so they'll give him a little bit more time here.
And there appears to be a bit of discussion between the officiating crew and the trainers, and now Chuck Chico Kyle comes out.
You know, I asked Chuck Kyle, who's the legendary coach of St. Ignatius, why they call him Chico. And he said that they call him Chico because of Chico Carrasquel, the great White Sox player, a Dominican player. When he was growing up, he played for the Chicago White Sox. Chico did, and as a kid, he looked up to him. He said his brothers were Nellie Fox and Louis Aparicio, and so that left him with Chico Carrasquel.
I suppose I was expecting something a little bit different than that, but that'll work. That'll work.
Well, it certainly wasn't Chico Borman, I'll tell you that much.
No. Cathedral Prep takes over 1st and 10 from their own 25. Now double wideouts to the left side. 15 in the slot is Anthony Easterling. Now Dance will run with it. Good job initially by Massey, and he spun Dance around, and then the rest of the fellas in white and yellow came in to finish the job.
Yeah, that was a broken play, and we talk a lot about the fact that a game like this will be won up front, and that was an example of the defensive line for St. Ignatius really just overpowering the Prep offensive line. Prep did a pretty good job on that first possession, but that time Massey was able to penetrate and break up that play.
Well, the good news for Prep is that on the defensive line, they haven't been pushed around, and as a matter of fact, they've probably gotten the better of it.
I agree. I think
so
they've
far.
certainly outplayed the offensive line for St. Ignatius so far.
Different story when you reverse sides. Here's Dance, rolling to his left, throws out in the flat. Pass intended for Brian Sechrist. Broken up that time by 47. Sean Kavanaugh brings up 3rd and 14.
And Dance is lucky that ball was not intercepted because Kavanaugh got both arms around it. He was a little bit off balance when he came to the ball, but that ball was not thrown particularly well. He was trying to hit his receiver going deep down the field, down the sideline, and he was just a little bit short with the throw, and Kavanaugh almost picked it off.
Talk to most of the coaches for Cathedral Prep. They say if they want to have a chance to win this game, they have to be able to run the football effectively. That's really their bread and butter. They'll throw it around the yard a little bit, but they want to keep it mainly between the tackles. Oh, little scissors cut. Buckner loses control, and they say it's a forward pass on the little shovel pass. So it falls incomplete. That brings up 4th and 14.
I think there's no doubt about it. And Tyrone Buckner had a terrific game last week in the win for Cathedral Prep. He had over 100 yards rushing and a terrific average as well. But last year, just -2 yards on 4 carries against the Wildcats, and so he's trying to improve on that. He already has had 1 big run.
Mazzucapo deep to kick, Dayton deep to receive. Mazzucapo's kick. Dayton takes it at his own 48-yard line and gets out to about the 50, where St. Edwards will take over from there. When you're in the market for residential or commercial landscape design or construction, call LM Wander & Sons Landscaping. They've been in the landscaping business for 23 years, and they can handle all types of landscaping, hydro seeding, and tree stump removal. They can also provide you with deck design and installation as well as snow removal. They accept both MasterCard and Visa. Call LM Wander Sons today at 864-5507 or stop in at their office at 8711 Peach Street. LM Wander & Sons, the landscaping professionals. 1st and 10 from midfield, pitch back to Palco, and he's got a lot of running room. And finally pushed out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35, down to the 33. Carson with the stop.
That was a pitch sweep to the far side of the field and just great blocking, and Palco having the speed to turn on the Jets and turn that corner for a real big gain. As we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, he just turns that corner with some great blocks up front, and he was able to have the big gain out of it.
Looks like a fancy play. It's one of the simpler ones in football. It's the quarterback takes 2 steps to either side and pitches to the running back, and the big guys block and seal on the inside, just like this one. It's Palco again gets inside the 30. See, they'll mark it at the 27-yard line.
You know, worked one time. Why not try it again? These are the first 2 really tosses they've tried in this ball game. The first few running plays have been direct handoffs, and Prep did a real nice job of beating the offensive line and penetrating and stopping those plays for losses or just short gains. But the 2 tosses have worked pretty well for this Ignatius team.
Backs in the eye, gives to Palco, off tackle, First down inside the 20, inside the 15, and out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Bozic and 25, John Chiodo in on the stop for the Prep Ramblers.
But Bozic upsetted himself there because he was the linebacker in charge of coming up and making that stop, and he could not do it. He got by Bozic, and then the secondary had to make that play far down the field after picking up the first down. But once the defensive linemen have taken up the blockers, it's up to the linebackers to come up and make those stops and tackles. And that time Bozic could not do it.
First and 10, the Wildcats moving. They're at the Prep 13-yard line. Backs in the eye. Here's Palco again, looks to cut it up. Gets to the 11, maybe the 10. Tackle on the play for Prep by number 3, Mike Savelli. They'll give him the 11, 2nd and 8. And one of the things that these toss sweeps do for St. Ignatius is that it loosens up the Prep defensive line. They've really had it their own way the first 2 times the Wildcats had the football, and it caused a lot of havoc to the St. Ignatius offense. This way, it kind of neutralizes and also simplifies the blocking schemes for the offensive linemen.
Let's see if they go right back to that. Looks like a change of formation here.
Backs are split, wide out to either side, double tight end. They're going to throw the crossing pattern. The pass is complete and finally brought down at about the 2-yard line. It's 27, Kevin Collier.
But I believe it will be enough to get the first down, and so it will be 1st and goal now. That's how big of a play that was. But I thought, 2nd and 8, they were having success running the football, and you could see Prep was starting to move some guys up, and they were getting ready to gear it up, for the run to stop it. But what did Ignatius do? They came with a quick slant, and it's been working for them. That time the receiver caught the ball, and they pick up the first down.
Defensive stop, good field position to start the drive at the 50, and now they're knocking on the door. Backs in the eye behind Hoyer. The give to Palco. Why not? He deserves the touchdown. He did everything else on the drive.
It's almost too easy right there as the line did a good job of blocking to the left side, and Palco runs it in. You're right. This whole drive was set up by Palco, whereas the first 2 possessions for Ignatius were really through the air, and they had that one big play through the air. But Palco was the man. We take a look at the Meadowbrook replay. He just runs straight off tackle there and gets into the end zone for the score.
Juice Kedzier back to kick, and that's good to see because he was a little wobbly. He was more than wobbly when he came off the field last time. Snap, hold, and the kick is up and good. So with 1:24 to play first quarter, we take a look at the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. St. Ignatius 7, Cathedral Prep nothing. Back with more after this on Image Sports and PCN, Pennsylvania's Championship Network.
Why should I choose Career Concepts?
We spend the time necessary to observe and analyze your operation so we can better define the type of person that can make a difference to your business. And because we have an extensive database built over 30 years, we can find and deliver that person in a timely manner. But don't take my word for it. Test us.
We're back live at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Before we go any further, the officiating crew for tonight's game: Dick McCrillis, Bob DeMarco, Greg Deemer, Greg Cassidy, and Rick Johannesmeyer. And that's one of the better crews that you're going to find up here in District 10. So we expect and have so far seen a pretty well officiated football game. Now Kedzior is going to kick off deep for Cathedral Prep. We've got number 8. That's Mark Blunt, and at 21, Markel Knight.
I think Tom Dance also back there.
Oh, you're right. What am I looking at? Yeah, it's 8 Tom Dance. And Dance takes it at his 10, looks for a hole, gets out to the 25, over the 30, and finally brought down at the 32-yard line. He's one of those players that is versatile enough, starred and was all Metro League wide receiver last year, and certainly with his speed, as he's shown in track and field, they want to get him as many touches as possible.
And they can put him on defense. I saw he had an interception last week as well. I mean, he's a pretty versatile player, as you said, but he needs to start making things happen offensively. And I think they want want to try to roll them out of the pocket. They've tried that a couple times, but so far the penetration of the defensive line has stopped that.
Backs in the eye. Freeman split to the left. Sechrist wide right. Dance gives to Buckner. Buckner looks for a hole. Now cuts out over the 35-yard line. That's a good hard run by Tyrone Buckner. Kavanaugh in on the tackle for St. Ignatius.
Second time that play has worked. They start one way and then redirect it the other side of the field, and Buckner's big run was on that same exact play in which he took it to the other side of the field, and that time some good tough running to get 5.
2nd and 6.
Take a look at it. Trainer's job never done. He has to cut up uniforms during the game, get them fitted, take care of equipment. It's a never-ending job.
Same formation with the backs in the eye and the same running back. It's Tyrone Buckner. Gets out across midfield into St. Ignatius territory. Down to the Wildcats 49-yard line. Tackle on the play made by Mike Van Tusco. But another big run for Ty Buckner.
And that was straight ahead running, but then some tough running at the end. Tyrone Buckner's feet just kept on moving and pedaling, and that's the trait that every good running back has. Even when they're about to be wrapped up, the feet just keep going in place, and then they keep gaining those extra yards. And he got 4 or 5 more yards after he was initially hit.
Officials timeout on the field. And I'm not sure why. Oh, they've got to fix Buckner's shoulder pads were hanging out. Prep runs it again. This should be the last play of the first quarter. Under 20 seconds to play with a moving clock. St. Ignatius leads 7-0. Dance throws down the middle. Pass is caught by Sechrist. That's a big-time throw by Tom Dance. And it's all the way down to the St. Ignatius 13-yard line.
And it's a terrific call by Cathedral Prep. You had 2 very effective run plays right before that. They go to the play action, and the throw was on the money to Sechrist, who caught it in stride in a pretty good wrap-up tackle. As you take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, that was a perfect throw and a nice catch in stride.
And the Ramblers knocking on the door, but on the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard at the end of one quarter, St. Ignatius 7, Cathedral Prep nothing. Back with second quarter action here on Erie's leader in live local sports, the Image Sports Network and the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Ashley.
And I'm their dad, Denny Brendel.
Hey Dad, congratulations for celebrating 30 years in business.
Thank you, Chelsea. And thanks to you, our customer, for your business over the past 30 years.
Just think, Dad, you started out doing painting, and now look at all the services you offer.
So whatever you have in mind, home improvements, my dad can do it for you.
Just call 459-2856 for your free estimate today.
Pete the Painter is back. Look for Pete around town.
Carpet Craftsman. Now, I've been told if you want quality work, that's the place to go. Carpet Craftsman is owned and operated by professional installers, so they really know the business inside and out. Go see Dave Zielinski and feel comfortable about who you're dealing with. That's Carpet Craftsman at 27th and French, right next to Erie Veterans Memorial Stadium. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. A fine first quarter as we start the second quarter. Prep knocking on the door. They trail 7-0. A 2-yard Joe Palco touchdown run, but Prep's come right back, Rob.
And I think what they've shown is that they can play up front with this team. At least in the first quarter they could. And so I'm not so sure this game will be the blowout that a lot of people thought it might be.
Backs in the eye. Easterling split to the left. And now Dance fumbles it, and he has to keep it. You know, that's a play that loses yards, but it gains an awful lot of confidence for the Prep Ramblers. That's a smart play by Tom Dance.
It's a smart play by Tom Dance, but on the other side of it, you know, if you're Cathedral Prep, you wish that first quarter never came to an end because they really had all the momentum going on that drive. The 2 solid runs and the play action pass, the deep gain for Sechrist. But now you take this break, you switch ends, and we'll see if that might get some momentum back as we take a look at the replay. And a good job by Dance just getting that ball and falling down in that. Don't want to take any risks trying to hand it off late because that's how most fumbles occur.
Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13, ball on the St. Ignatius 16-yard line. Now in for Prep number 20, Pat Jennings. He's split to the right side. Backs in the eye. Give is to Buckner. Cuts it up inside. 15, 10-5. Down to the 3-yard line. Oh, they'll mark him at the 4, just shy of the first down. But that's a big-time run. And again on a simple play. Both of these teams have moved the ball most effectively when they keep it simple.
And that was a terrific run again, as you said, and he broke some arm tackles by St. Ignatius. They have not done a good job of tackling, as a timeout called for by Cathedral Prep, but again, Buckner showing the strength, not just the quickness to get through those arm tackles.
10:45 to play first half. The Conway and O'Malley scoreboard shows St. Ignatius leading Cathedral Prep 7-0. Ramblers looking to push one in. They're inside the 5. Back with more on Image Sports and PCN.
Hello, I'm Mark Klecker. From its humble beginnings in the basement of St. Peter's Cathedral in 1921, Cathedral Prep began as a 4-room school with just 100 students. By 1956, the graduating class had grown to 8 times that of the original class. Today, Cathedral Prep is a modern facility that is well known for its academic as well as its athletic excellence. All of us at the Klecker Funeral Home are proud of our long-standing relationship with Cathedral Prep. Cathedral Prep, developing the whole man in spirit, mind, and body.
Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. Glad that you could join us across Erie County and really across the state of Pennsylvania, Rob. It's our first broadcast from up here in District 10 this year on PCN. We have 2 other games to come, but I was talking to someone last night and they said, gee, the game tomorrow night should be a pretty big one. Biggest one of the weekend? Certainly the biggest one, I think, at least of the first month of football. It's a big game.
I think you're right. And give a lot of credit to Mike Mishler and the entire staff of this Cathedral Prep team, because they did not have to go out and play teams like this, but they decided to early on to get ready for league competition, and this is certainly a test for them, but they're on the verge of scoring if they can try to pick up this important first down.
3rd and 1, ball on the 4. Power eye in the backfield. Buckner at the tail end, gets the football and gets the touchdown. Tyrone Buckner. We talked about it, Rob. If Prep can run the football, they can stay in this game.
And they've been running it to the right side. That whole drive was really Tyrone Buckner, who's a little bit gimpy after scoring that touchdown. He's in some pain as you take a look at him coming to the sideline, but that again was just simple power football. You take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, he just dances in, some good blocking up front, and really Prep offensive line overpowered the defensive line of St. Ignatius that time.
Pete Yaney in to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick is up and good, and with 10:41 to play in the first half, the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard, we are tied at 7. Big night of football here at the shores of Lake Erie. Back with more. Stay with us.
Why should I choose Career Concepts?
We spend the time necessary to observe and analyze your operation so we can better define the type of person that can make a difference to your business. And because we have an extensive database built over 30 years, we can find and deliver that person in a timely manner. But don't take my word for it. Test us.
I know it sounds strange to say, to use a tagline from a commercial, but test us. That's certainly what the Ramblers must have been thinking when they scheduled this football game. But the test that everybody was concerned with, St. Ignatius had already played they've had 2 full weeks of games. Prep played a game last week against a team from Canada that honestly had only practiced for 1 week, so they didn't get a real good look at who could do what to whom, but boy, they sure are showing up and doing well tonight.
And really last week the starters didn't get much of a chance to play much of any time at all, and so this is certainly the first big test for Prep. In the first really quarter and a half, they've responded well. A.J. DeLuca the kickoff, and the ball comes down to 28. That's Andy Stankus, and he takes it out to the 32-yard line where St. Ignatius will take over 1st and 10. We mentioned DeLuca. He was a bit of a find, only a sophomore. A find last week because of the blowout, the 57-7 score. Prep used a lot of people, and A.J. DeLuca showed that he had a pretty big foot on the kickoffs, and expect to see more of him. Now, here's Ignatius with Hoyer in the shotgun, trips to the right side. They go to Massey, the big tight end, and he ran a great route. And we see now why he's so highly regarded. Breaks out of a tackle, gets a block, he's gone. Mike Massey goes 68 yards, and he made 2 moves on that play that were outstanding. The first was to get open, Rob.
The second one was to break free of a tackle.
And there were really two break-free tackles on that. The first one was when he made a juke and showed off his ability and his agility, really. And the second was his pure strength. And then he turned on the burners, got a nice block downfield. That was some play by Massey and some really a play call because they had several receivers running different routes, and they found Massey, who was wide open in the flat. He took it in, as you said, made that great move to get away from the initial tackler, and then really just broke free with his strength to get free from the other one.
6'5", 230 pounds, and he showed he could scoot down the sidelines. Juice Ketzer's point after up and good, 10:20 to play first half, and on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard, St. Iggy's answers right back. They lead Cathedral Prep 14-7. You're watching live football action on the Pennsylvania Cable Network and the Image Sports Network.
At Township Automotive, something for everybody. Whether you're looking for a car, a small or large pickup truck, or perhaps an SUV.
Make Township Automotive your #1 stop for used cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, and of course service.
With a service department that can handle anything from an oil change and state inspection to an engine overhaul. That's Township Automotive, 3457 West 26th Street, next to the Dairy Queen.
Along with Rob Bressler, Steve Bowen with you back at Vet Stadium in Erie, and just that quickly, St. Ignatius answered back, and they did it. You know, we talked in the pregame, oh yeah, they have the offensive weapons, but it's really going to be one in the front line. Heck, two, it's the big offensive weapons, Hoyer to Massey.
And they certainly showed it off that time. And talk about taking away momentum. Prep had the momentum, and then just like that, with one play, Ignatius gained it right back.
Dance and Ron deep. The kick will come to Tom Dance at his 6. Out over the 20, 25, 30. 35 still on his feet. Cuts to the outside. We may have a tie game. Dance is gone. 94 yards. Oh my.
What a run and what a response. I was going to say this drive was key for Cathedral Prep to try to show some poise and come back after the big play by Massey and Ignatius, but my goodness, Tom Dance with a sensational run, and you mentioned that he was a 110-meter champion in the high hurdles. Well, he showed the burners on that one, really blowing by everybody once he got into the open field and turned the corner. That was a sensational run and a great play by Dance.
I know later on across the state, folks on PCN are going to get to see a lot of great backs and a lot of speed burners. You saw the best we've got in District 10 right there. Yaney's kick is up and good. 10:06 to play first half. And the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard is looking more like a pinball machine. We're tied at 14, and just amazing game so far. We're hoping that you're enjoying it in Erie County and across the state on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
You've seen these signs all over the area. More people rely on the experts at Great Lakes Construction for patio rooms and enclosures. Visit our showroom on West 26th. Ask about quality replacement windows from all sides. Bring your questions about roofing and siding too. Great Lakes Construction is proud of their detailed work and service. We invite you to talk to our customers. From roofs to siding to windows and patios.
At Great Lakes Construction, we super serve you.
Tom Dance took it up the middle, cut to the left side at about the 35-yard line, and at about the 45, looked like he was going to be tackled by Jim Chamelik. And all of a sudden, the state champ in the 110 hurdles turned it on, and it was 6 points for the Ramblers.
And that was just pure speed shown off by Tom Dance.
DeLuca again kicks to the far side, and it's taken by Chamelik. Gets it at the 22-yard line, gets about 6 yards. In on the return, number 19, that's Brian Seacrest. I knew I was going to do that at least once. So 10 minutes to play here in the first half, Rob, and it's been nothing if not very, very exciting and enjoyable football. Both teams have shown real flashes of offensive brilliance. Now let's see if one or the other defense can step up.
What an entertaining game. I mean, this has been big play after big play. And as you said, really, I mean, the offenses have shown up. Let's see what the defense can do now for Prep.
Hoyer under pressure, and he's sacked. Andre Mathis dropped back at the 20-yard line, a loss of 9. It'll be 2nd and 19.
That's what the defense can do for Prep. We've seen that when Hoyer drops back into the 7 and 8 strap drops, that Prep has been able to get the pressure on him. And as we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, take a look at the pressure. He's stuck back in the pocket for a while and just coming straight up the middle on the blitz was Andre Mathis Jr. That was some playing to get the sack.
They mark him at the 21, loss of 8, 2nd and 18. Hoyer straight drop back, and the pass intended for Rigo. James Carson looked like he was ready to step in front of that one. It brings up a big-time 3rd down.
And Steve, that was the pressure again by Cathedral Prep, because really Hoyer did not have a good time to set his feet, and he had to throw that ball quicker than he wanted to, and so he got rid of it with not that much accuracy. But he was upsetting himself after that one, but really I think the pressure up front by Prep set it up for the miss.
Rigo to the near side and double wide to the left. Hoyer with a straight drop. Now he rolls to his left, throws on the run, intended for Massey. Oh, they're gonna call Carson on a personal foul as he hit Massey out of bounds.
Have to take a look at this one again, because I'm not sure if Carson realized if Massey had caught the ball or not. And I think you're right. I think they're going to call it on him as we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay. But is he dropping back to pass, and they force him to roll to his left. Yeah, it was a late hit, and certainly he must have seen that the ball was gone, and so not a smart play. But he was coming full steam, but certainly an easy call for the officials there, and that should be a 15-yard penalty.
It is. Personal foul against the Ramblers. Oh, but they're going to mark it off from the line of scrimmage. How are they explaining this to Chuck Hoyle? Because that doesn't give him a 1st down. Wow. I guess I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it's not from the spot of the foul. But it will be.
I wonder, I think because the play was not completed, if it goes back to the original line of scrimmage. That's the only thing I can think of.
3rd and 2. At 37-yard line, they need to get just past the 39. And now there seems to be some discussion.
Well, they don't have a play call in there, and that's, I think, what Brian Hoyer is trying to get right now, is trying to get the play call, or maybe they're trying to straighten this out and figure out whether or not the ball should be placed after.
I think exactly that's what they're doing. Oh, and they're going to say it's 4th down. They're going to call it a dead ball foul. Holy cow.
Well, that's interesting. I was always under the impression that a personal foul like that was oftentimes even an automatic 1st down.
Well, we saw the referee lift up a clenched fist. That indicates 4th down. But they haven't changed it on the side. Curiouser and curiouser. Still in all, pitch back to.
They didn't get it.
To Falco. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference if it was. Well, actually, it does make a difference if it was. Oh, and it must have been 4th down. Yeah, they called it a dead ball.
No, I think they're going to punt now. That must have been 3rd down, because I cannot see St. Ignatius going for it in that situation with that field position. And so I would expect them to punt. So it must be 4th down right now.
Okay, I'm not sure I know who's doing what to whom, except for the fact that 74 Mike Ignan is.
How about the size of this punter?
Back to kick. Wow, how about the size of that leg? Taken by Ron. Ron gets it out to the 31-yard line, where Cathedral Prep will take over 1st and 10 for there. We'd like to acknowledge the nearly 3 million homes across the state receiving television coverage of this football game on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, public service of Pennsylvania Cable Companies. PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network. And of course, the state championships in football will be carried on PCN December 5th and 6th from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
And you know, this game kind of has that playoff feel. We heard Mike Mishler talk about it before the game. He said a lot of people coming out from Erie because they love Prep. A lot of people coming out from Erie because they like to watch Prep lose. I thought that was an interesting comment and a nice crowd at hand certainly to take in this game, which has been even so far.
Hand off to Buckner, and he powers out to the 36-yard line. Tackle on the play for St. Ignatius, made by 75, Pat Gallagher, who's in there. Yeah, you know, Prep is a 50-50 proposition. 50% of the people, you know, love them, and 50% of the people hate them. And it really is, you know, it's that strong of an emotion. And I think the Ramblers kind of relish in that. Pick up a 5 on the last play, 2nd and 5. Dance keeps it, throws down the middle, intended for Easterling. And good pressure put on by Massey. Dance had to hurry his throw.
Brian Seacrest was upset after that one because he was wide open coming down the right sideline. Seacrest had 3 or 4 steps on his cornerback tailing him, and Dance just simply did not have enough time to get rid of that ball. He wanted to make sure to throw the ball further than it was, you know, shorter to make sure that it would not be intercepted, but Seacrest was wide open down the right sideline.
3rd and 5 for Prep, ball on the 37-yard line, and now they have trips out to the left side. Seacrest alone wide out right. Buckner the lone back behind Dance, and now Buckner in motion to the left.
What's a cornerback blitz here?
Dance with a little pass out in the flat to Easterling. Good blocking, and gets out over the 45, and they mark him out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Boy, credit number 11, Michael Freeman, from his flanker position. Just a dandy block on the outside to allow Easterling to really ramble up the sideline.
And that was a great play call because St. Ignatius came with a corner blitz from the left corner, and so the pressure was coming from that side. And what did Cathedral Prep do? Well, they simply tossed a quick screen pass out to the other side of the field, and they had the gain for the first down.
They keep the same personnel in, and now they run the trips to the right side. Again, Buckner the lone wide out to that side of the field. And now he goes in motion to the right. Dance on the quarterback draw, and I was thinking that myself. Breaks a couple tackles and gets inside the 45 down to the 41-yard line. Close to a first down if he didn't get it. Hand line on the tackle.
I think where they're spotting the ball, he definitely got it, and they did. So that's back-to-back first downs here. Cathedral Prep with the score here can take the lead. We're tied at 14, and I think, to be honest with you, a lot of people in this ballpark are shocked right now in this stadium.
Certainly more so the people on the far side, the St. Ignatius fans, and they brought a goodly number of folks. There's probably 600 St. Ignatius fans over there. 1st and 10 Ramblers, backs in the eye now, and a wide out to either side. Dance gives to Buckner. Buckner breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and finally brought down by Kavanaugh, but not before he gets down to the 34-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play.
It has been Buckner's ability to take that initial hit, keep the feet moving, and then get 5 or 6 more yards out of it. He did it again that time, as Buckner got hit up front and then was able to maneuver himself and keep the feet going and get the extra yardage. He has been so impressive so far. He gained 126 yards and 11 carries last week, but that wasn't a real test for him. This is certainly a bigger test against a very tough defense and defensive line, good linebacking core as well, and he's been up to the task so far.
And they've got Tim Taylor, number 44, in at fullback, 6'1", 225. And now a whistle blows, and I'm not sure why. Oh, too much time, delay of game. And I'm not sure who blew the whistle, but whoever blew the whistle blew the top off of Mike Mishler. He is livid.
Well, it didn't seem like they had taken that much time in between plays.
No, it absolutely didn't. Now he's trying to explain to the side judge that you've got to, that the 25 seconds doesn't start until the signal's given, and he apparently didn't think that the signal was given 25 seconds before they blew the whistle. Backs in the eye. Dance gives to Buckner. Big hole up the middle, and it gets close to the first down to the 32-yard line.
I'll tell you what, the guys up front, Deshaun Lindsay, Stephen Teague, TJ Dabrowski, all these guys up there creating holes right up the middle of the field. And they're doing an outstanding job of really taking the middle of this defense for St. Ignatius and splitting it like the Red Sea, and that's right where Buckner is running through.
Brings up third down and about 1.5. They're just inside the 32. They have to get just outside the 30. Easterling now split to the left side. Sechrist flanked right. Taylor in front of Buckner in the eye. Give to Tyrone Buckner again, and a big-time play by Kavanaugh, but I think Buckner spun out of that tackle just enough to get the first down.
It will be very, very close. As you said, Kavanaugh came up with run support, made the initial hit behind the first down, and it looks like they'll be short, or at least a measurement of some sort.
And actually, Prep's going to call a timeout, so 5 minutes, 20 seconds to play here in the first half. As we take a look at the Conway and O'Malley scoreboard, we haven't decided anything right yet. St. Ignatius 14, Prep 14. Back with more here on Image Sports and PCN.
Why should I choose Career Concepts?
We spend the time necessary to observe and analyze your operation so we can better define the type of person that can make a difference to your business. And because we have an extensive database built over 30 years, we can find and deliver that person in a timely manner. But don't take my word for it. Test us.
We see the Prep Ramblers talking it over on a 4th and 1 along with Rob Bressler. I'm Steve Bone, and Rob, I think it's safe to say that even this early in the season, this is a much bigger game for Cathedral Prep to find out who they are and how far they can go than it is for St. Ignatius. Ignatius with lots of people back, including at the everybody at the skill positions. Prep having to replace a lot of folks up front. So far so good. Tie football game, and they've really held their own.
I think that's what people were so excited to see from this Prep team right here, because it's their first test, as you said, and another test right here on 4th down.
Dance under center. And a little busted play, and credit number 58, or 59, or rather, that's Brian Johnson with the tackle. Or no, 68, I'm sorry.
Well, that was
Matt Morrow.
You know, that was a busted play, as you mentioned. It looked like Dance wanted to hand the ball off to Tyrone Buckner, coming right up the middle, but he missed him. Buckner was too quick, or the handoff was too slow, and then Dance did not have anyone to hand the ball off to, and that's a pretty important busted play in that situation. 4th down and 1, and the ball gets turned over on downs.
Hoyer with a straight drop, under some pressure, gets hit as he throws, and the ball intended.
Oh, that's a bad call.
Yeah, the ball is intended for Cody Toman. Buckner was on the coverage, and they're going to call pass interference, and probably just because he didn't look for the football.
I just don't like that call, though, because the ball was underthrown. The receiver had to come back for it, and all Buckner was doing was simply covering his man. As we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, take a look at this. Hoyer gets hit as he throws. The ball is in the air, and Buckner, just looking back to where the ball was, he never intentionally did anything to try to deter the receiver from making an effort at the ball, and so that's why I really disagree with that call.
Yeah. But pass interference is a 15-yard penalty, so it brings it out to the 48-yard line. Going back to the 4th down play, we talk about all the ability that Tom Dance has. The one thing he doesn't is experience as the quarterback. So when the play busted, it seemed like he took a little bit longer than maybe a more experienced quarterback would have to turn that up inside.
And that's where having only one game as opposed to two could really hurt.
And Palco gets dropped right at midfield. Tackle on the play for Prep by number 58, Stephen Tye.
You get the feeling in talking to Mike Mishler that this is the kind of a team, this Cathedral Prep team this year, that will get better as the season moves along. A lot of guys who don't have experience starting coming from this year, and just talking to him, you get the feeling that this team will get better as the season goes along, but he was a little bit concerned with this game because they only have played one.
Wide out to either side, straight drop to Massey, and Massey is thrown down after only about a 4-yard gain by James Carson. Brings up 3rd and 5.
That time they put the quarterback Brian Hoyer on the move, and he showed what he can do throwing on the run. He's been pretty impressive so far. He's 6'4" is Brian Hoyer, and so he has that ability to see over the defensive line and get the ball to where he wants it. We've seen Prep pressure him so far, but he has withstood that pressure and still been able to throw the ball deep several times.
Dayton wide left, Toman split right, backs in the eye behind Hoyer. Three-step drop and passes across the middle to Dayton, and the tackle missed by Buckner. Dayton inside the 20, down at the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for St. Ignatius.
And the Wildcats have gone to that play several times. It's simply a quick slant. They know that Prep is fearing the big play and the deep bomb, and so what they're doing is playing their cornerbacks deep. And as we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay on this, just a quick slant, that's all it is. The tackle could not be made, he couldn't wrap him up, and so the receiver was able to get a big gain out of it. And as you said, that was a pretty nice run after the catch by Jeff Dayton.
Wide out to either side, and the give is to Palco. Follows this fullback Frisch up the middle, but gets maybe a couple down to the 15, tackle by Tony Bozic.
Good play by Bozic. You know, he couldn't make the tackle in the first quarter on a key running play that led to a touchdown for St. Ignatius, but that time he was all over that, coming up through the hole and stopping that play in its tracks.
For years here at Veterans Stadium, there's been a small little scoreboard on the south end of the stadium. It's been replaced this year by a brand new state-of-the-art scoreboard on the north end. And I haven't looked at the north end all night and wonder why the one on the south end isn't working. There's a pass intended for 27, Kevin Collier. And they're going to call Buckner. Is it interference or holding? One or the other. It's going to be interference.
Yeah, it's interference, and it was. It's a good call. It was another quick slant, and you could see that Buckner knew it was coming, but realized he was trapped, and he pushed off the receiver, Collier, and did not allow him to take that path to the ball. And so that's an easy call for the officials. The other one I did not agree with. I did not think that Buckner really did anything wrong as far as pass interference, but that time it was a clear call, and I think they made the right one.
Half the distance to the goal, takes it down to the Prep 7.5-yard line, 1st and goal. 2:57 to play here in the first half. A delightful first half of football, tied at 14.
This is where St. Ignatius likes to pass the ball.
Palco cuts it up inside. Boy, that's a good, strong run by Joe Palco.
Well, you're right, that nice, strong run there, but Ignatius has really become adept at the play-action pass near the goal line area really over the last few years. That's something that their coach, Chuck Kyle, has put into the offense, and so you wonder if they'll continue with trying to run it up the gut, or might they try that play-action pass and give another touchdown pass to their quarterback, Hoyer.
This is the third game played here today. There was a girls' soccer match at 9. Erie East lost to Franklin this afternoon, and tonight under the lights, two powerhouses. Palco again trying to push it across. Comes up shy, brings up 3rd and goal.
I think right now it's power football. They'll keep trying to pound it in with Palco. And trying to score, I think, really 4-down territory here. They're so close. And Ignatius certainly wants to pound it in.
At some point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hoyer just on a quarterback keeper, because they're within a football's length of a touchdown. And he at 6'4", 190, big enough to handle something like that. And they give to Palco. He doesn't make it.
Maybe a fumble, too. Did he lose the ball? That's what some Prep players are signaling. Looks like the referees are saying that he was down by contact before he lost the ball, but that was some hit put on by the Prep defense as he came to the line of scrimmage, and now decision time. Oh, a penalty. A penalty against St. Ignatius, and that will move them back.
But it also gives them an extra down. Instead of being 4th down and goal, now it'll be 3rd and goal from the 6. And with a quality quarterback like Brian Hoyer, I'm not sure Chuck Hoyles is sitting on the sideline going, "Oh, woe is me, we lost 5 yards."
It's an advantage because he gives some more space for Hoyer to work with. You're right. I think they'll definitely pass here.
Mike Savelli with a dandy play that time from strong safety position. Palco behind Fritsch in the eye. Now here's Tomer from a slot right to the left side. And now Hoyer under some pressure, and he's sacked. Andre Mathis, who has had a huge first half for the Ramblers, sacked back to the 10-yard line, and that'll bring up a 4th and goal
and give some credit to Mike Savelli. You just called his number in the last play, but he was covering the intended receivers. We take a look at the replay. Look at Savelli's coverage on the outside. That's where Hoyer wants to go, but he can't get it. He has to look to his second and third reads, his second and third options, and by that time, it was too late, and Prep had the sack.
And now St. Ignatius is... Are they going to call timeout? Have they called timeout? They must have.
There's 55.4 seconds left. You almost wonder why they don't run the clock down.
They have called timeout. So 55.4 seconds left in what's been a real fun first half. Tied at 14. Thanks to everyone involved in producing tonight's matchup, and a thank you as well to the cable companies in the state that carry the Pennsylvania Cable Network, bringing you the sights and sounds of a little bit of extra PCN Game of the Week to millions of Commonwealth residents. Last night, the big-time game from the eastern part of the state on PCN. Tonight, the shores of Lake Erie, District 10, and an interstate matchup. Cleveland St. Ignatius versus Cathedral Prep of Erie. You know, that's been fun, Rob.
It's been a lot of fun. That timeout called by St. Ignatius, I question that a little bit, why they didn't run some more clock off the time there, because we're coming down at the end of the first half. Now probably Prep will just run out the clock regardless of what happens here, but you never know. We've seen some big plays already. Ignatius lining up for the field goal, trying to take the lead, but this one has been a barn burner so far, and we've seen great plays on offense and defense for both teams.
28-yard attempt by Juice Kedzier. John Gretsch, the holder. Snap, kick is up, and good. So with 50.9 seconds left here in the first half, the St. Ignatius Wildcats move ahead on the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. 17-14, Wildcats over Ramblers. Back with more. Stay with us.
You've seen these signs all over the area. More people rely on the experts at Great Lakes Construction for patio rooms and enclosures. Visit our showroom on West 26th. Ask about quality replacement windows from all sides. Bring your questions about roofing and siding too. Great Lakes Construction is proud of their detailed work and service. We invite you to talk to our customers. From roofs to siding to windows and patios.
At Great Lakes Construction, we super serve you.
We expected this to be a game of how well each team could run the football. Not necessarily how well they could stop the football, although we thought really the key was Prep's ability to run the football. If they could run their offense, if they could run their base offense effectively, not only does it keep the high-powered Ignatius offense off the field, but it gives Prep a chance to use their biggest weapon, and that's speed. They've done that and more, but boy, I like St. Ignatius too. What a hard-nosed group. They've come right back and answered every time that Prep has put points on the board. Now a short one and a fair catch called for. Nice play that time for Cathedral Prep. That's number 9, Tony Bozic. That gives Prep pretty decent field position. They've got 50 seconds left, no time run off the clock. And Bozic makes the fair catch. Prep takes over first and 10 at their own 32.
You notice they were trying to keep the ball away from Tom Dance. If at all possible, Dance had the big kickoff return for a touchdown, but when you consider the Prep was down near scoring position and they fumbled that fourth down, I mean, this is a game that certainly could be with Prep winning instead of the other way around. It's been a very well-played and even first half.
Yeah, I don't think that both coaches aren't going to emphasize that, one to his benefit, one to his team's detriment at halftime. 1st and 10, trips to the left side. Buckner the lone setback. Now the give is to Tyrone Buckner, up the middle, and he gets stood up. Hainline with a big-time tackle. Also in number 12, that was the other linebacker, Jim Ramella.
You know, a lot of people say, why isn't Mike Mishler trying to pass the ball down the field, trying to set up plays with the clock running down? But the worst thing that could possibly happen to Prep here is for a turnover late in the half and then to have something crazy happen with the speed that St. Ignatius has on defense and the kind of skill players they have. So I think this is the right move. Try to run the clock down, run the ball with your man, Buckley, and see what happens that way. But worst comes to worst, you go to the half down by 3.
Dance to throw. Little fly pattern. Easterling's out there. Makes the catch inside the 30. Still on his feet. Anthony Easterling down to the 26-yard line. Prep calls timeout.
0.6 seconds.
Yep.
Or you could throw the ball downfield and try for the score. I guess that's what Mike Michelin, that's why he's down there. Now I'm up here. Let's take a look at the Meadowbrook replay. I thought they were going to run out the clock. That's what it seemed like, but they took a shot downfield. And a nice pass by Tom Dance. He delivers it on the money, and take a look at this. Easterling just stays up. He doesn't go down even there. It gets hit and then finally falls to the ground, and the clock stops. Luckily for Cathedral Prep, with some time still on it, 0.6 seconds left, and it looks like they're going to attempt a game-tying field goal here as time runs down in the half.
Yeah, a very nice throw by Tom Dance, and a good job by Easterling just to keep running the pattern. He is relatively new to his position as well, and that's not the easiest thing to teach a kid, is that, just run until until the play is over.
I am surprised, though, that they even took that shot down the field.
So Pete Yaney will come in and attempt a 44-yard field goal. The holder is the punter, Josh Mezzacapo. Snap, hold, the kick is up. It's long enough. No good, just sailed to the left at the end. So that ends the first half, and why shouldn't that be the last play of the first half? A long field goal attempt that was just wide.
It was a terrific first half. I mean, really impressed with St. Ignatius, but you have to be even more impressed with Cathedral Prep, because for the most part, they have played even, if not above, on the battle up front. Both defensive line, offensive line, they've stayed right with them. And really, in the second quarter, the running game for Cathedral Prep started to dominate. And that's the way they got that second score on the board. So, I really think that we've seen a game with big plays, but Prep has held its own. And who knows what can happen in the second half. But I think Cathedral Prep fans have to be happy. On the other end of the side, St. Ignatius fans have to say to themselves, look, a couple of big plays. You had that kickoff return. But, we'll see what happens in the second half. It's been very enjoyable.
Two things also, all things being equal. First, St. Ignatius is still winning. They're up by 3, 17-14. And the other thing is that while this is a bigger game for Prep, as we mentioned, because they really played against what amounted to a JV squad in their first game, it's not exactly like St. Ignatius played a couple of powerhouses in the state of Ohio either, Westerville North and Boardman, and handled them to the tune of 96-20. So this is their first test as well. While I'm sure that Coach Kyle's going to talk a little bit about some of the mistakes that they made in the first half, I think he's also going to stress, hey guys, look at the score. We did some really good things.
I think you're absolutely right, but I think, you say it's a big game for Cathedral Prep, which it certainly is, but let's face it, St. Ignatius, nationally ranked, they need to win this game, and they want to win this game as much as anyone this season, and that's what Coach Kyle talked about before the game as well. He said, look, this is the toughest test that we've had this year. We need to come out strong and come out dominant. They haven't been dominant so far. Prep has played right with them.
As we take a look at the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard, score at halftime, St. Ignatius of Cleveland 17, Erie Cathedral Prep 14. We'll be back with halftime activities, all that and more when we return. You're watching high school football on the Image Sports Network and PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network.
You've seen these signs all over the area. More people rely on the experts at Great Lakes Construction for patio rooms and enclosures. Visit our showroom on West 26th. Ask about quality replacement windows from all sides. Bring your questions about roofing and siding too. Great Lakes Construction is proud of their detailed work and service. We invite you to talk to our customers. From roofs to siding to windows and patios.
At Great Lakes Construction, we super serve you.
There's always something exciting happening right here at Humes Chrysler Jeep Dodge Truck in Waterford. Being Daimler Chrysler's largest tri-state superstore means that we earn extra factory-to-dealer incentives, enabling us to always offer you the very best deal. Our 7-acre complex here at Humes is loaded with over 600 of the hottest selling, most popular vehicles available today. Plus, you can always count on our 57-year history of 5-star service, including your complimentary service loaner. Come see us today. We're only 9 miles south of the Mill Creek Mall on Peach Street in Waterford.
When you want fast, friendly service, shop at Wise Locals Food Mart. The Wise Local family has been serving the needs of their customers since 1904. They always stock the freshest meats and produce, and their bakery can provide everything from cookies to wedding cakes. You don't have to drive a long way for low prices and great service. You just need to shop at Wise Locals Food Mart. Wise Locals Food Mart, family owned and operated since 1904.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you wanna holler, hi-ho. Feed your tummy on the go. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, cold milk in a real cool chug. I'm a chug-a-lugging son of a gun. I said let me have a big old sip. I done a double backflip. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you wanna holler, hi-ho.
Dean's Milk Chug.
Feed your tummy on the go.
Milk where you want it.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
From Meadowbrook.
Jabo is our guest, the headmaster of Cathedral Prep. We talk about college atmosphere. What a great night, a great evening for high school football.
You're absolutely right. The weather's perfect, the fans are perfect, and we've got two great teams that have mutual respect for each other, great competitors. So it's a great night for football all around.
Talking about excitement, a lot of exciting things going on at Cathedral Prep.
There's a lot of good things going on at the school this year. We've got a wireless internet system that we've just completed this year in preparation for all of our students receiving tablet PCs. Best in technology, newest technology out there. So we're moving our school, our curriculum, well into the 21st century. So we have a plan to get the whole building remodeled over the next few years. And the wireless internet and this tablet PC technology is one phase of being able to put this technology into our building.
Well, I know things are going great for you down at Cathedral Prep, and I know you're doing a tremendous job. You got great students, and that's what it's all about.
I thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm very pleased with our students. They make me proud day after day, and this football game so far, they made me very proud. They're doing very well.
Well, look forward to the second half. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
And we'll be back with more right after this on the Image and the PCN Network.
Conway & O'Malley Tires and Auto Service has everyday low prices on brand name tires, including Goodyear, Dunlop, Lee, and more. So the next time your car, truck, van, or SUV needs tires or auto service, take it to Conway & O'Malley Tire. With 3 family-owned locations, you'll always find what you need with expert service. Come see the car care professionals today at Conway & O'Malley Tires and Auto Service.
Now, more than ever, the fun starts here. Introducing the new Roadrunner, the exciting high-speed online service that puts broadband at your command. Just click to instant video of breaking news, sports, and entertainment, your favorite music, local events, the ultimate information finder, even your own personalized homepage. The new Roadrunner. The fun starts here. Coming soon to Erie. Visit our website to pre-register and catch the fun.
Beep, beep. Okay, time for a little role playing. Harold, you be the installer. Sarah, you're the customer.
Sure.
Go.
What? You mean I have to buy extra equipment for extra sets?
Yeah.
And I have to pay for local channels?
Yeah.
I can lose signal when it rains, I'm responsible for maintenance, and I have to sign a contract?
Questions about satellite dishes? Adelphia Digital Cable's the answer.
Well, do something.
With me, the Director of Advancement of Cathedral Prep, Chris Haggerty. Chris, welcome to the Image Sports Network.
Thanks very much, Doug.
And first off, what are your duties at Cathedral Prep and some of the fundraisers?
I am my official title is the guy in the hook. I'm the guy that has to raise the money, do the developing, rely on our parents, the alums, and the friends of Prep to help bring in the funds to offset the costs that don't come in through tuition, because the fact of the matter is, Doug, it costs us about $6,700 per student. Our tuition's $4,140. I'm the guy that makes up that $2,600 gap. That's why I have no hair.
So how do you make up the gap?
We do it in a number of different ways. We have fundraisers like Fall-O-Rama coming up October 11th, which is out at Rainbow Gardens, where we get all of our booster organizations together and we help raise money. We also solicit funds from our alums who are very generous, from our parents, from different constituencies, and it's nice to have 12,000 alums behind my back to help carry that treasure chest down to Prep.
Well, so far it's been a really exciting football game. I said prior to the game that the Prep had to do was block on the offensive line and tackle defensively, and so far this has been a hard-nosed, well-fought football game.
Our guys are competing, and that's what they do week in and week out, practice in, practice out. We compete in the classroom and on the athletic field, and I think St. Ignatius has a real good idea right now that we have a football team, and they're here.
Well, Chris, I want to commend you on the job you're doing at Cathedral Prep. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you down later on during the year.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more right after this on the Image and the PCN Football Network.
At Township Automotive, something for everybody. Whether you're looking for a car, a small or large pickup truck, or perhaps an SUV.
Make Township Automotive your #1 stop for used cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, and of course service.
with a service department that can handle anything from an oil change and state inspection to an engine overhaul. That's Township Automotive, 3457 West 26th Street, next to the Dairy Queen.
In the background, always one of my favorite sites in Erie. They used to call it Academy High School. It's now the Northwest Collegiate Academy. And it's a gorgeous building, and it's been one of the cornerstones because of this arena that's attached to it, Veteran Stadium. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. 17-14, St. Ignatius leads at halftime. And Rob, statistically, it's about what we expected. Scoreboard-wise, though, maybe not so when you look at overall numbers.
I think the one shock, without question, is that St. Ignatius has been held to just 32 yards rushing total. Now, Palco does have 16 carries for 54 yards, but take a look at all the negative carries and all the sacks. It comes down to 32 yards rushing. Prep, 78 yards rushing. And Tyrone Buckner has been outstanding. Maybe the reason why Prep is only down by 3. Buckner, 11 carries for 77 yards. When you look at total yards, St. Ignatius does have the edge there, 263 to 166. Hoyer, the quarterback for St. Ignatius, 10 for 17, 231 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. And Tom Dance, 3 for 6 for 88 yards. So something that has been a plus for Cathedral Prep has been Dance's ability to get the ball down the field when he is needed to. The leading receivers in the game is Massey for St. Ignatius has that long touchdown. He has 4 catches for 122 yards. And Eastern Lake 2 catches for 52 yards for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. But as you said, really the stats favor St. Ignatius, 263 total yards to 166. But I think Prep's ability to run the ball 1 and 2, shut down the running game of St. Ignatius, has kept them in it.
If you would have told Mike Mishler that at halftime Brian Hoyer would be 10 of 17 for 231 yards and a touchdown, he'd have said, uh-oh. But the idea that Prep has been able to move the football offensively, they've done a good job of takeaways, and certainly a big touchdown return by Tom Dance, and Prep is in this thing. But I know there are folks in the eastern part of the state who are kind of fond of a certain Michigan State quarterback, Jeff Smoker from the eastern part of the state. And there's some folks in western Ohio, or eastern Ohio, that are going to be pretty proud of Brian Hoyer based on what we're seeing tonight. He's good.
Oh, he is really good. And even the times when Prep has gotten to him, and they have done a nice job of pressuring the quarterback, Brian Hoyer, but he's so strong up there that he can take a hit and still get rid of the ball with accuracy. And boy, he has no problem throwing the ball down the field. You talked about that touchdown return for Tom Vance. That, I think, the key to the game so far, because football is such a game of momentum. Cathedral Prep ties the game at 7 with the touchdown run by Tyrone Buckner. Then right away, we saw Brian Hoyer come back for the quick strike and the long touchdown pass to Massey. And you thought, all right, there you go. Maybe St. Ignatius will start to pull away momentum on their side again. But then you have the kickoff return for the touchdown. It brought the momentum back. And there you have a 17-14 game at the half. That was the key play in my mind in the first half, the great touchdown return by Tom Vance.
Scoring in the first half, St. Ignatius broke out on top 7-0, a minute 24 left in the first quarter. Joe Falco with a 2-yard touchdown run, 7-0 in favor of the Wildcats. Then Tyrone Buckner came back to tie it up, a 4-yard run for Cathedral Prep at the 10:41 mark, tied at 7. And then the very next play after the ensuing kickoff, the play that Rob just talked about, the strike Hoyer to Massey, 68 yards, 14-0. And lo and behold, Prep answers right back, Dance 94 yards with the ensuing kickoff, 14-all. And then with 50 seconds left, it was Juice Kinzer, a 28-yard field goal, making it 17-14. And Prep had a chance, the last play of the first half, PIAA with a 38-yard field goal attempt that sailed just wide to the left. So this has been an exciting game, and we thought that if it would be back and forth, Prep could stay in it because that would mean that they were scoring points as well. And so far, that's what's happened.
And again, I go back to the fact that St. Ignatius has not been able to run the ball consistently against Cathedral Prep. They had the 2 toss sweeps in a row and the 1 big gain for Palco. But besides for that possession, really the Prep defense has done a good job of wrapping up the running game and forcing the quarterback, Brian Hoyer, to throw the ball. Now, granted, Hoyer is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. There's no doubt about it going to Michigan State, as we talked about. But if you can shut down the running game, continue to get some pressure on Hoyer, then I think Prep has a chance to stay in this game and maybe have a chance to win.
But Chuck Hoyle, we also talked in the open, is not as concerned as maybe some other team might be that he can't run the football. Against Westerville North, it was Hoyer, 3 touchdowns, 272 yards. Then last week against Boardman from the Youngstown area, they rushed for over 280 yards. So they're able to do both. They have both in their scheme, which doesn't make them have to change things dramatically if one's not working.
And he said the key for his team this game, though, when I talked to him before the game, he said it has to be a balanced attack. Prep is too good to just have one facet going and the other not. And to be honest with you, so far the facet of passing has been going and the other has not been going. But I think Prep has done a good enough job of getting pressure on the quarterback. The one thing that they need to, I think, get better on in the second half is defending those quick slants, because those are wide open, and you can see Prep is afraid of the big play, and then Hoyer has the ability to throw the ball down the field. But the quick slants is something that is definitely part of the arsenal for the Wildcats, and Prep needs to do a better job of shutting that down and stepping in front of those, stopping those quick slants, and those have been pretty big gainers for St. Ignatius.
Folks around here will also tell you that in the past couple of years, the Achilles heel, if there has been one for Prep defensively, has been in the defensive backfield, and I mean it's no secret. In fact, it becomes fodder for public discussion on all sorts of airwaves, and it's interesting to hear people talk about it. I've heard members of the coaching staff, including Mike Mitchler, come on the radio and defend it and make valid points, and then you have longtime observers of football who say, wait a minute, still in all, the fact of the matter is that it doesn't necessarily work that way. Prep's going to get the football to start this third quarter, and if you're Mike Mitchler, your defense has played very well, but your offense has developed some rhythm. They've run the football well. They've had some success passing. Normally, I would think that they might want to be on defense. I don't think they're too bad off getting the ball first.
Well, and the other thing about the Prep offense is that they have not turned the ball over. They have done a good job taking care of the ball. You cannot turn the ball over against a team St. Ignatius. Done a good job of that. They have the one key fourth down play in which the snap was fumbled, recovered by Vance, but then they turned over the ball on downs. But besides for that, they've had a real clean half, and they try for another one here.
Kedzie to kick off. Dance number 8, Ron at 26, back deep to receive.
I think they'll keep it away from Dance again. They want no part of that.
I think they're going to go. Well, no, here's Ron, runs up. Boy, takes it at the 22. Breaks outside, shows a little speed. Now tries to cut it back up near side of the hash mark and gets out to the 32-yard line. Prep will take over 1st and 10 there. The defense for St. Ignatius along the front, 91 Jermaine Whitmore, 87 Mike Massey, the ends, 72 Steve Miller, 58 Mark Zivich. The tackles, the linebackers are John Hainline, 44, flanked by 45 Brian Paris, 12 Jim Ramella, 24 Greg Beck, 2 Jim Kamelik. The cornerbacks, 3 Mike Van Tuso, and 47 Sean Kavanaugh, who played a dandy first half, especially defending the run. Strong safety. We'll set the Prep offense for you after this first down play. They come out in a pro set, high formation with Buckner behind Graham. Is Fugate in motion. And it gives to Buckner up the middle. Breaks out over the 40, 45, 47-yard line. First down, Cathedral Prep. Tackle made by Jim Kamelik.
That's a 14-yard run for Buckner, and that's what he did in the first half. The hole is there initially, and then Buckner uses his feet, his quickness, and more importantly, his strength. And we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay. Take a look at that hole at first, and then he stays with it and drags defenders another 2 or 3 yards. That was the storyline in the first half, and the reason why Prep is outrushing the St. Ignatius team by a wide margin.
1st and 10, ball on Prep's 47-yard line. Backs in the eye, now Easterling split to the left, Freeman to the right. Dance with a pitch to Buckner. Buckner tries to go outside and is knocked out of bounds. Kavanaugh again in there from his strong safety position. Tremendous run support by Sean Kavanaugh.
You know what has been interesting? We've seen that Ignatius has had trouble defending the run inside between the tackles, but they've done a pretty good job of moving laterally and defending those pitches outside. And the option that time, they had two defenders there, Kavanaugh the first on the scene. But Prep has done a nice job of running inside, and we'll see if they try to stick to that.
Gain of 1 on the play. They'll give him 2, 2nd and 8. Again, a wide out to either side. Buckner deep in the eye. Dance with a play fake, now throws out in the flat. Just overthrows Graham. Marcus Graham had the defender beat. Let's set the Prep offense for you. And boy, let's talk about the big guys up front first, because they've done a whale of a job so far tonight. The tackle, 75, Dave Nesselhoff, 57, Sean Nutter. Guard, 65, T.J. Dorowski, 77, Deshaun Lindsay. Let's see if Lindsay's back in there, because he was there. Yes, he is. And the center is 58, Stephen Ty. Wideouts have been rotating. Right now it's 11, Michael Freeman. And 10, Robbie Fugate. 8, Tom Dance, the quarterback. 27, Marcus Graham, the up back. And deep in the eye is Tyrone Buckner.
Big size advantage for Freeman, 6'3" over number 24. Greg Bate covering him. He's only 5'11". Let's see if maybe they try to exploit that.
Dance on the keeper, a little hesitation, now cuts back inside. Nothing doing there, and a tremendous job of playing that sweep and the cutback by 91, Jermaine Whitmore. That'll bring up a punting situation. Dayton drops deep, about his 17-yard line, awaiting the Josh Mezzacapo punt. Here's the snap. Nice kick by Mezzacapo and hits at the 17. Dayton grabs it at about the 9. Breaks one tackle and is down at the 15-yard line. 10:17 to play here in the third quarter, with St. Ignatius leading 17-14. We have a Rambler down on the field.
Grabbing his ankle, it looks like. Trying to get a number on that. But it looks like perhaps a severe injury.
Not sure what number it is, honestly.
It's like number 57 maybe, Sean Nutter, but trying to get a confirmation on that.
Yep, 57. And we just got word from spotters on the sideline. So while they're attending to him, we'll do this for you. When you need fast, reliable service for your car's radiator, come to Swedes Auto Radiator. Swedes can also service your car's air conditioning and fuel system, and they are conveniently located at 2906 French Street in Erie. Call Swedes today at 459-0640. That's 459-0640. Let Swedes Auto Radiator provide you with fast, dependable service for your car. PCN's coverage of high school sports made possible by Pennsylvania cable television companies that carry the nonprofit network on their channel lineup. If you're enjoying the action, be sure to thank your local cable company for supporting PCN. We see Nutter coming off. We'll be back here again Friday night for another interstate matchup. It'll be the Cathedral Prep Ramblers hosting Cleveland St. Edwards. And it's not exactly frying pan to fire, but pretty darn close.
I'll tell you what, you ask anyone in Cleveland who the top two teams have always been and arch rivals, St. Ignatius and St. Ed's, and Cathedral Prep sees them both in a couple weeks.
There's Palco along the left side. Boy, he's awfully quick and gets out over the 30-yard line.
That's almost a 20-yard gain for Palco, and not good ability by the Prep defense to try to shut down that corner. As Palco just turned the corner. Almost a redirection on that play as we take a look. As he starts one way, comes back the other, and just too much speed for Prep defender Tony Bozic to have a chance to track him down. He did not take a good angle to the ball, and he was able to have a big gain out of it.
Now Hoyer in the shotgun. They bring Rigo in motion. High snap, but Hoyer pulls it in. Now feels some pressure and gets the pass away, intended for Palco. Well, you can see him turn his head just as the ball hit his hands.
Well, that was right on the money. Hoyer has shown the ability to throw the ball on the run and throw it with perfection, a marksman's perfection, and that time Hoyer was forced out of the pocket. It was a high snap, and so the play was not run smoothly from the get-go, but that ball should have been caught and probably should have gone for a 7 to 8 yard gain.
Yeah, this isn't a kid who started playing quarterback in 10th grade. You can tell. Well, his footwork is tremendous, always keeps the ball high, good swift motion. Now they give to Pelko. Oh, nice cut to the outside, and now he breaks free and gets out to the 47-yard line.
They fumbled the ball, but that was after he was down. He took some kind of a hit at the end of that play. But as you said, there was a gigantic hole on the trap play. And they are starting to run the ball now. That's a couple good run plays in a row for St. Ignatius. The other thing I love about Hoyer is his size. You know, you hear people say, well, quarterbacks don't have to be as tall these days, but I'll tell you what, to be 6'4" and to have the kind of arm that he does, he reminds me of Carson Palmer type size, the guy who can see over top the defense.
Backs are split. Hoyer with that slant. Nice grab by Dayton. Holy cow. He had to reach way behind him to catch that. That's a good catch.
He did the spinorama, and that was not a good throw by Hoyer, but as you said, Dayton came back to get that ball. But that's the quick slant. Cathedral Prep playing back with their defensive backs, trying to avoid the big play and the bombs, but again, they're getting hurt on these 5-yard passes, which go for 10 to 12 yards, and that's another first down for St. Ignatius.
Backs in the eye. Give is to Pelko. Big hole on the left side, gets inside the 35. And boy, those big guys up front, 74, Mike Einon, 66, the center, Jay Janosic are doing dandy work on this drive. And the other thing, Rob, is that in the first 2 games for the Wildcats that have been blowouts, they've played 4 tailbacks. And matter of fact, their 4th-string tailback, Robert Flanagan, is the leading rusher. The only guy we've seen carry the football tonight has been Pelko. And, of course, now that I say that, they've got 28, and that's 28 is Stankus. Andy Stankus is in there. Stopped for no gain on the play. Bottom of the pile is going to be Mike Savelli. Also for the Ramblers, is that 78? Yeah, 78, Joe Blanks. That's a name that a lot of people are a little surprised to hear in Erie on the football field. He comes from a long line of truly outstanding basketball players, including his namesake, who was a star at both Tech Memorial in the 70s and Gannon University in the 80s. Now St. Ignatius calls timeout. 8:09 to play third quarter. So we take a look on the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. St. Ignatius 17, Cathedral Prep 14. Back with more third quarter action on Erie's leader in live local sports, the Image Sports Network, and PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network.
When it comes to your personal finances, place your trust in an institution that has grown locally over the past 67 years. We're growing to meet the needs of our members with access to a local ATM network and 24-hour access to your account. We're member-owned, and we're inviting you to share in our growth. If you live or work in Erie County, you're eligible to become a member. We're Erie School Employees Federal Credit Union, where you get financial solutions from local people you trust, serving our membership one member at a time.
Back at Erie Veterans Stadium, and we will be next Friday, as we mentioned, Prep back here taking on Cleveland St. Ed's. And then a week from today, we're happy to start our coverage of Mercyhurst College football, as the Mercyhurst Lakers will entertain another set of Wildcats from Northern Michigan University in the GLIAC football action. And that's always a lot of fun. Adam Marco and Dave Leisering bringing you all that action beginning at 1:30 1 week from today. Big third down play for St. Ignatius. Hoyer from the shotgun gets some pressure and now tosses across the middle, complete to Toman. And boy, credit that to the receiver, who danced around in between the hash marks for about 3 or 4 seconds, finally broke to the near side to get free.
And credit that to the offensive line again of St. Ignatius, because that was some kind of a pocket, and he had plenty of time, did Brian Horter, to set up and find that receiver. He had some mobility moving to the right, but the pocket was established and he had the time. You need to pressure Hoyer, or else you're going to be dead. He can pick you apart.
Pelko back in there and tries to cut it inside on the left side. The Ramblers smelled that one out. Tackle on the play by 44, Tim Taylor.
You talked about the St. Ignatius offensive line. Listen to some of these numbers. Zivich on defense, 265. Jay Janicek, the center, 265. Stephen Miller, he's a tackle on offense, 275. And then Mike Anon, 270 pounds. They have some beef up front for high school.
Yeah, there's some big-time guys. And Mike Sheridan's in there, 6'3", 285. Hoyer, three-step drop, pass across the middle, expected or intended for Toman. Buckner on the coverage. And that was good coverage that time by Ty Buckner.
And that's an adjustment that Buckner has made. He's been beaten a couple times on that quick slant, but that time he stayed right with the receiver and was able to sneak that hand in at the last second and break up that pass.
And any passes defended by Prep, the change is going to have to be individual. They're not going to change their scheme. They've been running this scheme since Mike Mishler has been their head coach, and this is, I believe, his 7th season at the helm of Prep. This is just the way they teach these kids to play defense. They're going to have to make some minor personal adjustments. And now there's going to be some sort of procedure. Is that illegal substitution? I'm not sure. I saw.
Trying to see what. I believe they called that penalty before even anyone had gone into motion.
Oh no, St. Ignatius called a timeout.
That's two timeouts in this possession, and that's big.
7:12 to play, third quarter. 17-14, St. Ignatius leads on the Conway and O'Malley scoreboard. Back with more here on Image Sports and PCN.
Why should I choose Career Concepts?
We spend the time necessary to observe and analyze your operation so we can better define the type of person that can make a difference to your business. And because we have an extensive database built over 30 years, we can find and deliver that person in a timely manner. But don't take my word for it. Test us.
Back live at Erie Veterans Stadium. 3rd down and 8. St. Ignatius on the Prep 22-yard line. Now Toman in motion to bring a trips to the right side. The ball tipped. And it hit the ground first.
Referee's right on that call. It was very close, but they made a good one because that ball was deflected and then dropped before it got to the arms of the intended receiver. That was number 9 for St. Ignatius. Juice Kedzier, also the kicker, and now it brings up a 4th down. We'll see what they do. It looks like they're going to go for the field goal.
Good pressure by the Prep front line. But Hoyer's pass was tipped. Kedzier had maybe a half step. I mean, it was going to be a risky throw one way or the other. And this is going to be a risky kick. 40 yards for Kedzier, and honestly, I don't think he's shown that he's got that kind of a leg. Now watch, he's probably going to nail it. Kick is off to the right side, no good. So with 7:04 to play, we're still at 17-14 on the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. St. Ignatius leads Cathedral Prep. The Ramblers will answer back after this.
Hi, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Ashley.
And I'm their dad, Denny Brandell.
Hey Dad, congratulations for celebrating 30 years in business.
Thank you, Chelsea. And thanks to you, our customer, for your business over the past 30 years.
Just think, Dad, you started out doing painting, and now look at all the services you offer.
So whatever you have in mind, home improvements, my dad can do it for you.
Just call 459-2856 for your free estimate today.
Pete the Painter is back. Look for Pete around town.
1st and 10 Prep, and this is the first time we've seen backs split. But one of the wideouts jumped. It'll be 1st and 15.
You know, in talking to Chuck Hoyle, the head coach of St. Ignatius before the game, he said that his team, like Prep, runs a 4-3 defense, but he's not afraid to change things up defensively. He'll go to man-to-man defense. He'll go to zone in the secondary. He'll also bring blitz packages as the game moves on. We haven't seen much blitzing in this game so far from St. Ignatius, but I expect there to be some more here in the second half because they gave entirely too much time, I think, for Tom Vance to throw the ball in the first half.
Easterling split to the left side, and that's Freeman wide right. Again, Graham and Buckner split behind Dance. Dance three-step drop, and Prep wants some interference. The ball definitely was uncatchable.
Yeah, that's
the same type of call that they want against or that went against Tyrone Buckner, but the ball was way overthrown, and there's no way they're going to call that.
Yeah, that ball clearly uncatchable. It was a fade pattern to the near side, but not well thrown at all. As we take a look at the replay, take a look at this. A quick, really two-step drop, and the throw nowhere near the intended receiver. And despite the contact, I don't think even Randy Moss would have gotten to that ball. Although maybe.
Brings up a 2nd and 15. Now the back's in the eye behind Dance. The draw play to Buckner, nothing doing there. Boy, Paris in on the tackle, but also 87 Massey from his defensive end position. Played that like he knew it was coming. Another loss of 5, 3rd and 20.
Well, the first time we've seen the draw play in the playbook for Cathedral Prep, and the problem with that is you need to have some kind of established passing game to have that play work, because that opens up that draw play. Prep has not really passed the ball with that much efficiency. They have had 3 completions today, but the bottom line is this: if you run a play like that, a delay in a play like that, you need to have a passing game working for you, and Prep does not, and so St. Ignatius was able to easily sniff that play out.
Wide out to either side, backs in the eye behind Dance, and now movement. And Prep will lose another 5 yards.
I think it's on the left side of the offensive line there. We'll see who they...
And now it'll be interesting to see what Chico Hoyle does from the other side of the field. The St. Ignatius coach, I'm not sure that there are many high school teams that have a play in their playbook for 3rd and 25. Dance was successful throwing the football in the first half, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you throw it in this situation. Pitch back to Buckner, makes a cut to the outside, gets to the 10, 15, 20, breaks a tackle. Tyrone Buckner, 95 yards, if he can hold off. Nope, he's going to get caught. Down at the 6-yard line.
What a run.
And what a job by Jim Camellic. Yeah, Jim Camellic to run him down.
That guy must have some terrific speed, but Tyrone Buckner tiptoeing down the far sideline on a 3rd and 25. There are not that many plays that will be bigger than that as we take a look at the Meadowbrook replay. Take a look at this. He gets to the sideline, and they can't wrap him up. He splits 2 defenders, and then he's gone. But take a look at Jim Chamelik showing the speed. I mean, Buckner can race it down the field as well as anyone, and he's finally caught at the 6-yard line. But that could prove to be a monumental play in this game. 3rd and 25, the toss right, and they get a huge gain out of it, close to 90 yards.
89 to be exact. Give is to the tailback, number 2, touchdown, Cathedral Prep.
James Carson.
Yep. So Buckner, with an 89-yard run, sets up a 6-yard Carson touchdown run. Cathedral Prep with their first lead of the evening at 20-17.
And this has really been amazing as we take a look at the give to Carson. Off to the right, he makes a nice move initially, takes a hit and keeps on going. That's been the theme for this running attack of Cathedral Prep. They've been taking hits, but unable to wrap up have been the Wildcats, a team that is usually known for some pretty solid tackling. But tonight, Prep has run right through those arm tackles, taken the hits and kept on going. They've been like the Energizer Bunny in that sense, I guess, and now they have the lead.
Yaney on to kick. Snap, hold, the kick is up and good. 5:28 to play, 3rd quarter. On the Conway O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard, Cathedral Prep 21 and the Cleveland St. Ignatius 17. Back with more on Image Sports and PCN.
Hello, I'm Mark Klecker. From its humble beginnings in the basement of St. Peter's Cathedral in 1921, Cathedral Prep began as a 4-room school with just 100 students. By 1956, the graduating class had grown to 8 times that of the original class. Today, Cathedral Prep is a modern facility that is well known for its academic as well as its athletic excellence. All of us at the Klecker Funeral Home are proud of our long-standing relationship with Cathedral Prep. Cathedral Prep, developing the whole man in spirit, mind, and body.
Going over Ty Buckner's 89-yard run in my mind, It was an amazing play. It was 3rd and 25. Prep backed up at their own 5-yard line. But just to see, all I can see is Jim Kamelik just blistering after him and making up probably 30 yards in the last 40.
But the bottom line is Prep converted and they scored and they have the lead. And a crowd from the Prep side has come up with the cheer overrated. It might be a little bit premature from that, but this is certainly a shocker so far.
Kamelik slips down at the, they're going to give him the 24-yard line. I mean, I'm not a referee. I occasionally wear striped shirts, but I'm not an official. But his knee clearly hit it about the 21.
That's an inexact
Again,
science,
they do
right?
a nice job of bringing it back, to the 22. That's a good job.
Maybe they have you turned in.
Yeah, I don't think so. 1st and 10 for St. Ignatius. The ball on their own 22-yard line.
Now they had luck with the running game, abandoning it as they got down the field last possession. Let's see if they try to stay with that running game here.
Palco with a big hole on the left side again. Gets out close to the first down.
I just think the success that they had last possession running the ball, and the reason that drive got stalled last possession was because they started to pass the ball. So I think they might just stick with the running game here and try to pound it out to get the go-ahead score. But Prep has done a nice job overall stopping this running game. Let's see how they can do in this possession.
2nd and 1 as they mark it just inside the 32-yard line. Backs in the eye. Give is to Palco again, and he is spun around and down, but enough for the first down. Tackle for the Ramblers made by Bob Reisenweber, the big defensive end.
Bob Reisenweber did a great job of shifting off his blocker and then making that play. That's just a terrific play on run stoppage by Reisenweber. But again, they do pick up the first down.
Now the backs are split with a wide out to either side. Hoyer, 3-yard drop. Pass is complete. Little spin move now inside the 30. Here's Kedzior inside the 20. Finally tackled by James Carson at the 13-yard line.
So dangerous. There's that quick slant. All it is they throw the quick slant and then the defense over pursues. And you see right there for Cathedral Prep, number 25, John Chiodo, has had better days because look like there he gets deked. The quick slant was to the middle of the field. In the Meadowbrook replay, we see it perfectly. Chiodo gambles to the middle and simply stopping his direction and changing the other way is the receiver.
1st and 10 from the 12. The give is to Palco. Nothing doing there. 44 in on the tackle for Prep.
You know, I'm surprised we haven't seen more toss sweeps. It worked for them during that one possession. We really haven't seen it that much from the St. Ignatius offense.
Loss of 2 on the play. Back to the 14. Tom Taylor on the tackle, 44. Brings up 2nd and 12. Rigo wide to the right. Dayton split left. Backs are split. Hoyer throws the slant ball, tipped at the line of scrimmage. I don't know who got it. But if I had to guess, I'd guess number 34, Bob Reisenweber, because at 6'5", he's the biggest of the offense or the defensive linemen.
And people say, well, shouldn't that be pass interference? No, because once that ball is tipped, as we'll take a look at the Meadowbrook replay, it's tipped up in the air. Still hard to see exactly who it was, but it's free game on the receivers. And so a good job by Buckner to tackle that defensive, or tackle the wide receiver, make sure he had no chance to catch the ball in the deflection.
3rd down, Hoyer, a pump fake. Now throws the fade, and a good job that time defensively by Prep cornerback Markel Knight. And that's something that, honestly, if you watch tape of Cathedral Prep, you don't see that often. And that's a Prep defensive back turning to see the football while it's in the air.
That was an outstanding play. It was the fade pattern to the corner of the end zone. Here's the Meadowbrook replay. And watch this play by Knight, getting the left hand out as he turns around and looks to see where the ball is. If he doesn't get that left hand out, that's a touchdown, 6 points easy. And St. Ignatius takes the lead. Now they'll have to try to settle for the field goal.
31-yard attempt by Kedzior. Low snap. kick is high enough and no good. So 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play here in the third quarter. And on the Conway O'Malley scoreboard, it doesn't say it, but Prep dodged a bullet. They lead St. Ignatius 21-17. Back with more after this.
Why should I choose Career Concepts?
We spend the time necessary to observe and analyze your operation so we can better define the type of person that can make a difference to your business. And because we have an extensive database built over 30 years, we can find and deliver that person in a timely manner. But don't take my word for it. Test us.
First and 10, Cathedral Prep at their own 20. Give is to Buckner. Gets out to maybe the 21-yard line. A good push that time. And I'm waiting to get the number while he turns around. That's 12, Ramella. Ramella did a nice job of pushing what was going to be a pulling guard back into Buckner, and he had to take whatever hole opened up.
It was a redirection play. You know, you said the Cathedral Prep has St. Ed's of Cleveland next week. Well, St. Ignatius, they have to go in and take on number 19, Shaker Heights. It's a pretty outstanding powerhouse in Cleveland as well, so that should be another test for St. Ignatius next week.
2nd and 9, wide out to either side. Buckner at the tail of the eye. Dance pitches to Buckner. Buckner cuts inside Ramella. Gets out over the 25, over the 30, out to the 34-yard line. Tackle finally made by 24, Greg Bate.
And that was all Tyrone Buckner again. It's amazing the kind of game he's had. He's nearing 200 yards now after that 89-yard run earlier in the game. But that was all Buckner because the offensive line was away from him. He had 3 defenders, and he simply juked and used his strength to get by them and to get the gain, to get the first down. He's a tired man, but he needs to have some more reserves left because there's still a long way to go in this one.
26, Matt Ron in replacing him. Same formation. Gives to Ron. There's going to be a motion penalty. Ron was anxious. That's a good hard run, but unfortunately it's going to come back.
I think Ron started a little bit early, as you said.
Just a slight lean, but enough to catch the eye of the official.
Well, I think you'd have to classify this as a shocker to this point.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, and of course, I'm going to get letters statewide and people coming to my house in Erie who know where I live. I'm not trying to be a Prep apologist, but again, we said, Robin, and taking a look at these teams, if Prep doesn't get pushed around up front on either side of the football, they can stay in this because they have one thing, and that's speed galore.
And they have used it tonight, and that's certainly why they're winning. I agree with you there.
I don't mean to say one thing, but that is the strength of this team. Dance throws the fly pattern, and if Freeman can catch up to it, just overthrown.
And that was a miscommunication there defensively, the defensive backfield for St. Ignatius. There was no one around Freeman. If that ball's a little bit closer to him, he's gone for 6.
You like the call. Again, I think, and it's not a knock on Dance, but a slightly more experienced quarterback, certainly Hoyer, I think, would have held it maybe a half second longer and still put the same amount of arc on it and really give Freeman a better chance to run underneath it. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and that's going to be whistle dead. Motion by Prep.
I think someone might have moved on the line.
So instead of 2nd and 15, it'll be 2nd and 20. Gee, 5 more yards, and then they can bring Buckner back in, and he can run for 89.
That's right.
That appears to be the 3rd and 25 play in their playbook.
You know, that's something before this drive. Prep really was not hampered by penalties, but 2 on this drive. And that's the last thing, despite, as you mentioned, the 89-yard run, but it's the last thing that Mike Mishler wants to see is his team get into these 2nd and longs and even worse 3rd and longs, because it's not the kind of offense normally that can pick those kind of plays up.
if you're going to have 2nd and 20, you want to be leading by 4 instead of behind this late in the game. Give us to Carson, who's in there at tailback, and he gets just a couple back, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
I think one thing to look for Prep here is to try to get the ball and keep it in the hands of Dance and try to have him move outside the pocket and perhaps try to run for some, because so far Dance, except for the kickoff return, has been held in check rushing the football. It's been all Buckner, but if Dance can get involved too, you can have a two-pronged attack.
Well, and with the ball sitting just about between the hash marks, a little bit of a wide side to the near side, but not much of one. It does give Prep some options if they want to run wide, either with a keeper, with an option, with a toss. Backs in the eye. There's the flare again, and intended for Easterling. Prep must have seen something either during the course of this game or during scouting, because that's about the 5th time they've run that play.
Well, and it's been open every time, including that one. If the throw is on the money, you're talking about a big gain, but so far the throws have not been there. But I think you're right. I think that has been a hole so far, and Prep must have seen that in their scouting coming into this game. And I'll tell you, if those throws are there, those are humongous gains for Cathedral Prep.
Mezzacapo to kick. Dayton set to receive. Good snap. Mezzacapo gets the kickoff. A little short, and it takes a St. Ignatius bounce. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the Cathedral Prep 40-yard line. 46 seconds to play. We take a look at the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. Still, Cathedral Prep leading 21-17 over St. Ignatius. You know, we've all heard that word of mouth is one of the best ways to advertise. One customer of Keep Heating and Cooling put it this way: the Keep salesman clearly explained the Reams features, giving me a competitive bid and closed the deal. We got next day installation by 2 competent, uniformed Keep technicians. Keep Heating and Cooling, featuring Ream air conditioning and natural gas furnaces. Remember, natural gas, your most energy efficient choice. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. 1st and 10, St. Ignatius. Pressure on Hoyer, and he's dropped for a big time loss. Tackle on the play for the Ramblers, Josh Parsons. And instead of being 1st and 10 from the 42, it's going to be 2nd and a bucket load, because he dropped them all the way back to the 46. That's a 12-yard loss.
Well, they like to have Hoyer run outside the pocket like that. He's shown the ability to throw on the move, but as we see from the Meadowbrook replay, he thought he could get away from Parsons, but he could not. And that is a huge loss, as you said. But in this high-powered offense, now you figure that they'll probably go to the air a couple more times, and it looks like stay in the shotgun formation.
And they're going to do it at the start of the 4th quarter, because now the clock has expired. So we have played 3/4 of this game, 12 minutes left. We take a look at the Conway and O'Malley Goodyear scoreboard. We see Prep leading St. Ignatius 21-17. Back with more on Erie's leader in live local sports, the Image Sports Network, and PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network.
When it comes to your personal finances, place your trust in an institution that has grown locally over the past 67 years. We're growing to meet the needs of our members with access to a local ATM network and 24-hour access to your account. We're member-owned, and we're inviting you to share in our growth. If you live or work in Erie County, you're eligible to become a member. We're Erie School Employees Federal Credit Union, where you get financial solutions from local people you trust, serving our membership one member at a time.
Hey, there's a Carpet Craftsman. Many Erie businesses have trusted Carpet Craftsman to supply their carpet and flooring, like the beautiful Bel Air and Avalon hotels, plus many offices, restaurants, and homes just like yours. At Carpet Craftsman, they buy direct from the manufacturer, and that helps keep prices low. So when you're looking for new carpeting, stop in and see what they have to offer. That's Carpet Craftsman at 27th and French, directly next to Veterans Stadium, as you can see by that shot. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. 2nd down and 23 for St. Ed's. The ball back on St. Ignatius. Oh boy.
Next week.
Yeah. Ball back on their own 46.
Well, if that game is anything like this one, it should be a treat next week as well.
Hoyer out of the shotgun, and they're setting up the little tiny screen to Fritsch. It's read pretty well by Prep. Credit to 45 Parsons, 3 Savelli, and number 21, and there also Markel Knight. Rob, we talked at length before the game about what we expected and what we heard from the Ignatius coaching staff, and they wanted to talk about their defense. They mentioned specifically Massey and Whitmore, the ends, and Hainline and Paris, the linebackers, and said that those are the guys who really get us going defensively. Prep has scored more points tonight than the other 2 teams combined have against St. Ignatius tonight, and we haven't called those 4 names that often defensively.
Well, I think you're right. You know, there's no doubt about it that Prep has really handled the pressure, and they've come to play tonight, and that's something that Ignatius has not seen this year.
Boyer on 3rd down, and he gets drilled just as he lets it go. I mean, he got drilled big time.
And he's hurt. He's banged up.
That was Ryan Drabina.
He came unblocked up the middle, Steve, and that was an amazing hit. It's amazing that he even got the ball off.
I'm hoping we see that again.
And we're trying to get the replay on that, and here it is, the Meadowbrook replay. Take a look, straight up the middle on the blitz. Bam. Just like that.
That doesn't even come close to showing how hard he got hit. Big number 74, Pat Gallagher, back to kick. And
that might be a face mask.
The ball is taken. I don't think so, Ron. I think it was more close to the shoulder pads. Be that as it may, he didn't drop it. He didn't turn it over, which is good for Prep. So Prep takes over 1st and 10 from their own 20, and the job that offensively Nesselhoff, Dabrowski, Ty, Lindsay, and Nutter have done is really something special and has helped Prep to this lead.
Well, now Cathedral Prep, they have the lead, 21-17. There's 10:55 to go. What they would like here is obviously to have a long drive, eat up some of this clock, and perhaps a score at the end. But try to have a long drive, rest that defense, because the defense still has a long way to come against this high-powered offense of St. Ignatius. But see if they can get some good runs together, and I think give the ball right back to Tyrone Buckner and let that offensive line go back to work.
And on the delay, it's Buckner, gets up over the 20 to the 22-yard line. He's up 2nd and 8.
This is the time when guys start to have to dig deep for any kind of reserve energy they have. They played tough, hard-nosed football to this point. But the starters have been in there for a long time, and you wonder how much these teams have left.
Easterling back in. Oh, and now Prep, I think, is going to get flagged for an illegal substitution because Ryan Drabina was looking to check in, and he ran back out. Easterling flanked to the right, Freeman to the left. Backs in the eye behind Dance. I'm not exactly sure what they're waiting for. Just a little quick count and a quick counter to Buckner. Tyrone Buckner breaks across the 25 to the 27. Tackle on the play made by number 5, Justin Whalen. First time we've called his number tonight. Brings up a 3rd down for Prep.
So 3rd down and 2. These are the kind of third downs that Prep specializes in, trying to convert these. And I think you give the ball right back to your star running back, who has had just a terrific game so far.
Third and 2, backs in the eye, wide out to either side. Dance taking as much time as possible. Well, this is a nice job. We mentioned he's not that experienced, as shown in his throwing, but he's pretty heady. And now they're going to call too much time, or they're going to call it an offside.
Well, that's a good question. Was that delay of game? Did he take too much time? Trying to run the clock down as long as he possibly could.
Nope.
And offside to the defense, and that will be a 1st down.
And given the nature of this game, I mean, there have been sparks flying, helmets and pads and everything. Anytime you can pick up a 1st down without having to snap it. We'll take a look on the Meadowbrook replay. Yep, there's the jump right there, yeah, on the left side of the line. So
he was in that neutral zone and then came across the other side of the ball. And you're right. And now what it does is it gives Prep a chance to run some more time off the clock.
Seeker split wide to the right. Freeman flanked left on top. Graham in front of Buckner in the eye. Dance under center. Now they give it to Graham. Little change of pace, and nice run that time by Marcus Graham. Picks up about 9. Tackle on the play made by 44. That's John Hainline. No, they give him a first down.
Wow. I didn't think he had the first down.
Take a look on the replay.
Marcus Graham, more of a physical runner, 5'11", 200 pounds. We'll see where his knee touches.
Yeah, that's a good spot. He could get out to the 48-yard line.
That's a powerful run, too. Yeah. A good spot, I agree, and a powerful run by Graham. I like the call because of change of pace.
Same formation.
And the clock dwindling down here, approaching 8 minutes left.
This time Pat Jennings, number 20, is wide to the right. Give to Buckner. Nothing doing there.
Ball was on the ground. Are they calling his forward progress stopped, or are they saying that's a fumble? Because St. Ignatius came up with that ball, and they're saying that they should have the football right now, but they're saying Prep did not turn it over because Buckner, his forward progress was stopped. That's a pretty big call.
And might be a quick one if you're cheering for the guys in the white with the yellow helmets.
Such a fine line as to what is forward progress and what's not, and when is it stopped and when is it not.
Yep. And again, Dance doing a nice job taking loads of time. Now they give it to Buckner, and Hainline on a blitz. Did a dandy job knocking Buckner for a 2-yard loss. I don't know if the referees are tuned in to us, but Hainline might be, because just as we mentioned that things haven't gone that well for him, all of a sudden now they have, and now we see Ty Buckner down on the field. I don't know if he just got his bell rung or...
He's played a whale of a game so far.
Knocked out of him? Oh, yes, he has.
He's coming out to a rousing ovation from the Cathedral Prep fans here. As we said, there's a nice conglomerate of fans from the St. Ignatius side and the other side of the field.
And now the prepped St. Ignatius goes across to their sideline. Oh, and there's still an official's timeout. Well, I tell you what, that's kind of wacky, because they waved the prep kids off who were bringing water, which is the right thing to do. But they also waved St. Ignatius, who had gone all the way over to their sideline. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, you almost get the feeling that St. Ignatius is playing with a sense of urgency here now. They're starting to panic a bit. They know that their dream of perhaps an undefeated season is on the line here.
Well, it's under 7 minutes to play. Clock running, 6:40. 3rd down and 12 for Cathedral Prep. Backs in the eye behind Dance. Dance throws out in the flat. Just overthrows the intended receiver, Easterling. That was a good play. Boy, that would have been a huge play.
It was a good play. You had protection, and they had the receiver, Easterling, wide open, but Dance could not put the ball on the spot. And that would have been a first down and would have kept the clock running. Instead, St. Ignatius now gets the ball back. What a game this has been, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and
fans have certainly enjoyed it, and it's been worth their money coming in.
Cathedral Prep used up about 3.5 minutes. They didn't gain much yardage, but they gained a big-time ally in the clock. Mezzacapo to kick. Now kicks it near sideline, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see where the referee marks it. Should be right about the 36-yard line. It is. So it'll be 1st and 10 for St. Ignatius from their own 36. When you're in the market for residential or commercial landscape design or construction, call LM Wander & Sons Landscaping. They've been in the landscaping business for 23 years. They can handle all types of landscaping, hydro seeding, and tree and stump removal. They can also provide you with deck design and installation as well as snow removal. And they accept both MasterCard and Visa. Call LM Wander & Sons today at 864-5507 or stop in their office at 8711 Peach Street. LM Wander & Sons, the landscaping professional. Along with Rob Bressler, I'm Steve Bowen. Hoyer, little slant. Pass is complete to Kedzior. Gets it out across midfield into Cathedral Prep territory down at the 48-yard line. Tackle on the play made by 23 Adam Dolak.
And Dolak did a nice job that time. They went back to the slant, and we've seen that play work for big yardage after the catch, but Dolak was able to wrap up. So granted, they got the first down, but nothing more than that because of the nice tackle by Dolak.
Rigo split wide to the left. I'm taking for granted it's Kedzior on the right. Boyer with the drop, pump fake. Rigo streaking down the sideline. What a throw and what a catch inside the 10. The pump fake, Prep bit on it, and Rigo just kept running the fly pattern.
That was Markel Knight on the corner. Rigo, the recipient of a gorgeous pass from the quarterback, Brian Hoyer, but on those quick slants is the reason that play worked, because Markel Knight set up inside, defending against that quick slant. I don't know if we have another look at it, and maybe later we will, but he set up inside, the receiver started inside, then went back out towards the sideline, and the throw was right on the money.
1st and 10, give is to Palco. Looks to turn the corners, got it, gets a block in the end zone by Kedzior, touchdown. Good downfield blocking by Juice Kedzior.
And just like that, the Wildcats of St. Ignatius take the lead. That was a quick strike drive with the big pass play and then the speed of Palco turning the corner using, as you said, very good blocking up front. And he was able to turn inside and get the score.
Kedzior to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick is up and good. 5:44 to play. This has been a dandy. It ain't over yet either on the Conway O'Malley scoreboard. St. Ignatius 24, Cathedral Prep 21. Back with a rousing finish here on the Image Sports Network and PCN, Pennsylvania Cable Network.
At Township Automotive, something for everybody. Whether you're looking for a car, a small or large pickup truck, or perhaps an SUV.
Make Township Automotive your #1 stop for used cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, and of course service.
With a service department that can handle anything from an oil change and state inspection to an engine overhaul. That's Township Automotive, 3457 West 26th Street, next to the Dairy Queen.
We're back at Erie Veterans Stadium along with Rob Bressler. I'm Steve Bowen. 24-21, Cleveland St. Ignatius leads Erie Cathedral Prep, 5:44 to play. We want to we want to welcome to Erie the new bureau chief, the Western Pennsylvania bureau chief for the Pennsylvania Cable Network, Josh Mackley. I had a chance to meet and talk with Josh on Thursday, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll be up Saturday." Wow, what a way to kick off your tenure, coming up to help with this thing, because this has been as good a game as you're going to see. Oh, deep kick by Kedzior. Ron takes it right at the goal line. He thought he could maybe take a knee. He gets out to the 15, and that's it.
Well, notice they kicked away from Dance again, and as you said, he paused momentarily. He caught that ball at the 1 yard line and realized he was not in the end zone, so he had to take it out. And good coverage downfield by St. Ignatius. This is probably the worst field position that the Cathedral Prep Ramblers have started a possession on.
It's the worst starting position. They obviously were back at their own 5 at one point.
But after a kickoff, this has been the deepest that they have been pinned down so far tonight.
Now James Carson in a tailback. 1st and 10. Give is to Carson. He breaks out over the 15, out to the 18-yard line. Ton of folks in on the tackle. Picks up 3, makes it 2nd and 7. And I'm looking down on the sidelines to see if I can see Tyrone Buckner. I do see him. He's standing right behind head coach Mike Mishler.
What a time not to have your best running back in the game. He's standing, as you said, on the sideline, and he has well over 100 yards rushing so far tonight.
Dance to throw. Out in the flat. Oh, and there was some contact there, and if I don't care if that is catchable or not, you can't push off, and I don't even know who was responsible for it.
Oh, there was certainly a bump there.
Pass was intended for Sechrist.
Looked like on St. Ignatius, number 8, and that's Brett Polito. But I guess they ruled that ball uncatchable. You know, that ball was closer. I thought maybe if not for the bunt, the receiver had a chance to catch up to it and catch it. That's a big play right here.
Prep goes with Freeman, split to the right. Sechrist flanked left. Dance to throw, and good pressure that time. How much you want to bet? I was going to say 91 and 87.
Yep.
I better watch what I say. I'm going to honk some people off in Erie, but boy, as soon as I mentioned Hainline, Whitmore, and Massey, they've had big plays the last 2 defensive possessions. And now Prep's going to call a timeout, 4:31 to play, 4th down and 13. And again, Prep calls timeout. This is one of those games, yeah, when you win the first one, and in St. Ignatius' case, when you win the first 2, some people start thinking, "Ooh, can we go, 14-0 and win the state championship?" Well, you can still win the state championship and lose a game in the regular season. Sure. But this early in the season to play a game, either team, against this quality of competition, I think just sets you up so much better for possible playoffs. Really early in the year to be talking playoff, but fact of the matter is that both of these teams have showed their quality tonight.
Well, I think this early in the season to have a game this competitive with this much talent on the field, I think you're right, it will only help both teams down the stretch, and Prep has another tough test next week, but once they get into league play, this can only help. Harkening back to this game and saying, we were able to pull it out, we barely lost this game, but it was a close game, and the Prep Ramblers have played very tough tonight.
Mezzacapo to kick, Dayton to receive. Dayton standing inside the Cathedral Prep 40. Good snap, Josh Mezzacapo. Pretty good kick, drives Dayton back to his 45, and he just falls down right there. What a difference 7 points makes in a football game. Before, Prep was, when they were up by 4, they were running clock, they were keeping the ball on the ground. All of a sudden, a couple of big plays, and St. Ignatius takes over, and now we're going to see them, I believe, do the same thing.
I was going to ask you, you believe they'll do that, but they have the kind of offense, maybe they'll try to play action pass here and put some more points up on the board, but I expect them at least the first couple downs to try to run the ball and eat up some of that time.
Backs in the eye, gives to Palco. Well-designed play and a good block that time by the fullback, number 11, Fritsch. Didn't read the number of the Rambler that was blitzing, but Fritsch did a nice job of faking the blitzer to the outside and allowed that little hole to open up. Everybody else sealed to the inside.
And this is where the experience of Brian Hoyer, he's a senior starter, and they said he's like another coach out there on the field. He will waste the clock, take it all the way down, and keep his team under control for this final, perhaps, drive.
2nd and 5, ball on the Prep 40. Give is to Palco again. He spins, gets 3 more down to the 37-yard line. 3:35 to play, a running clock. 24-21 St. Ignatius.
Now, if St. Ignatius gets this first down, it will be very difficult for Prep. They need some kind of a stop here or a turnover perhaps, but I think this could be certainly one of the biggest plays in the game.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which of those you'd rather have if you're Cathedral Prep, and now Prep looks like they jumped off sides.
Who was it though? Was it Prep or was it St. Ignatius? Some of the Prep defensive linemen think it was the Wildcats.
and they're doing that in a hope against hope situation.
Oh, that's a huge penalty because now it's a first down and a fresh set of downs to run some clock off.
We'll see it again. Yep, good hard count by Hoyer. Cathedral Prep has 2 timeouts left. St. Ignatius with the lead and the ball has 1 left. Give to Palco, tries to duck underneath. Andre Mathis on the tackle.
Now for the Prep defenders, every time the ball gets handed off, you try to sneak your arm in there, try to pluck that ball loose, force the turnover.
I'm telling you what, with 9 yards to go on 2nd down, if I'm Prep, I got 2 timeouts left. I take one of them here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They've already left about 12 seconds run off the clock. Hoyer taking as much time as he can. Give to Palco. Runs it near side. Fritsch with a nice block. Gets down to the 25. A gain of 6 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 3.
And Palco stayed in bounds. And now Prep will be forced to take a timeout with 1:58, I believe.
There's a Rambler player down. That's James Carson. We've talked about the tough nature of this game, and boy howdy. that shows it right there. There have been players on both sides that have been a little wobbly walking off the field. Yeah, we mentioned that tonight's game being carried on the Pennsylvania Cable Network, and just for football fans across the state, A, we're pleased to bring you this game. B, it's a really cool thing to be able to see teams from around the state, because you just get a better idea of how schools in your area fit in. And C, it all culminates right here on PCN December 5th and 6th from Hershey with the PIAA football championships. And if you've never had the opportunity to go down, it's a whole lot more fun if your team's there. But even if they're not, it's a fun 2 days because it's lots of really, really good football.
And speaking of really good football, that's what we've seen tonight. And I think the fans here in Erie have been treated to just solid football, hard-nosed football. We've seen big plays. We've seen big-time performers. And 3rd down and 3, Prep with only 1 timeout left now. They have no choice but to try to stop the Wildcats here on this 3rd down and 3, because I think in all likelihood this could be the game, as James Carson being helped off the field on the sideline. That is not a good sign.
Minute 58, a 3-point St. Ignatius lead. Fritsch in front of Palco in the eye. Hoyer gives to Palco. Nice job by the Ramblers. Might even lost about a half a yard.
Now what do? Do you try to kick the field goal? We've seen field goal problems and kicking problems for St. Ignatius. As Prep will take its final timeout, 1:52 left. Or do they go for it here? I think they'll go for it. They could pooch punt it, I guess, but we have another Prep injury down on the field. This time an offensive lineman.
Actually, that's 34, Bob Reisenweber, and he's been dinged a couple of times tonight. We've seen him slow in moving around. We mentioned that next week, another doubleheader here on the Image Sports Network. Friday night, Cathedral Prep taking on Cleveland St. Edwards here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Then Saturday, we're up at Tullio Field on the campus of Mercyhurst College. Marty Schetzel and the Lakers take on the Wildcats of Northern Michigan University. And boy, last night I couldn't remember where Northern Michigan is, and I couldn't remember again. I mean, the name of the town, I know unfortunately all too well where it is. I've been there too often in the wintertime. But I also know that it's the home of the United States Olympic Committee Nordic Ski School,
all right.
Training school. Great facility.
But who doesn't know that? Come on.
No one across the state of Pennsylvania now. Oh, nice slant pattern by Hoyer.
And, you know, it's fitting that they should get the 1st down and perhaps the ball game on that play, because that is the play that has worked so well for them tonight. And how about the guts? 4th and 3. I think most teams would have tried to run the ball there, but why not when you have a quarterback like Brian Hoyer run that quick slant? And he put the throw right on the money. That was some kind of a throw.
And also watch the pump fake. One of the Ramblers goes up. He just brings it back down, and then he throws a rope to Kenzior.
You know, that was good coverage.
Yep.
It was great coverage. Just a perfect strike by Hoyer.
So they're going to take 3 knees and hop on the bus. And that's about all she wrote. because it's 120 and counting right now. It was 17-14 in favor of St. Ignatius at halftime. Third quarter, Cathedral Prep took a 21-17 lead. James Carson scored on a 9-yard touchdown run following an 89-yard run by Tyrone Buckner. But then at the 5:44 mark, Joe Palco took it in from 9 yards.
You know, let's not forget that Cathedral Prep lost last year to this same team 28-0. This year, it looks like it's going to be 24-21. So a lot of positives that this Cathedral Prep program can take out of this game. Now the other side, if you're St. Ignatius, you said, whew, that was a tough game.
Yep.
We got away with it with a win. But now perhaps we're ready. That's the first tough game and tough test of the season, and now they will try to march on next week against Shaker Heights.
Well, on consecutive nights, two of the top Quad A teams in the western part of the state have lost. Woodland Hills lost last night, surprisingly, to Gateway. And that was a bit of a shocker. This one, Cathedral Prep loses 24-21 to Cleveland St. Ignatius. Not nearly as much of a shock, and probably a slightly better performance by the Cathedral Prep Ramblers in spite of the loss.
I think there's no doubt about it. You know, in talking to a lot of people, the reputation that St. Ignatius has, they said there's no chance that Prep can even compete. Well, folks, they competed tonight, and they gave a severe scare to this St. Ignatius team. And if you're a Cathedral Prep fan, I think you have a lot to be happy about, because this team showed heart, this team showed the ability to run the ball, and this team showed the ability to stay in a game late. And they had the lead late in this fourth quarter before Ignatius finally took over, and that high-powered passing attack, along with some pretty tough runs at the end of the game, was the difference.
You look at the size of these two squads. This handshake at the end might take an hour and a half. Tonight's Image Sports crew includes our producer Jay Jablonski, director Kevin Tomedy, tape operator Sean Phelps, audio operator Mike Francis, and of course our camera operators. And again, an outstanding job by these folks. Jason Kosmicki, Jen Joliet, and the high cameras, and down on the field, as always, our guy Jeff Corey. So for Rob Bressler and the entire Image Sports crew, and also Josh Backley from PCN, I'm Steve Bowen, thanking you for joining us again. The final score, St. Ignatius 24, Cathedral Prep 21. You've been watching high school football, a sports exclusive of the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader in live local sports. Good night, everyone.
And Coach, welcome to Erie, Pennsylvania. And first off, congratulations to your football team.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're going to have a great football game here tonight, and we're looking forward to it.
From the standpoint of your football team, you're 3-0. I know last week, for example, it went down to 6 seconds of the field goal against Shaker.
Right, we had to go the distance of the field in 41 seconds and kick a field goal, and we were fortunate enough to be able to do it. Our guys kept their composure, and we made the plays that we needed to make. And our kicker is an outstanding kicker.
From the standpoint of your football team, I know you platoon a lot of players both offensively and defensively. According to reports, your defense in the first 3 ball games have carried you, and your offense now is starting to come around.
I hope you're right. Definitely our defense has been our strength, and our special teams. Our offense has had its moments. Sometimes we've thrown the ball effectively, sometimes we've run, but we really haven't been a model of consistency.
Let's talk about some of your key players defensively and offensively.
Well, I would think defense, we have a 3-year starter at middle guard. His name is Ryan Adkins. He's a wrestler. He's a competitor. We have Ryan Mirando, who's a 3-year starter at defensive end, also plays on the offense as a tight end sometimes. And another Ryan, it's a Ryan guy up there. Ray Pez, again, a 2-year starter up there. And big Alex Boone, who's committed verbally to Ohio State. It's about 6'8", 300. He plays a lot up there on the line. Ryan Bailey, whose brother plays for the Steelers, Rodney, played for Ohio State. He's one of our linebackers, and he's pretty solid in there. And our outside other, Jeff Milkey, Neil Jerb, Bob Norman, are good. In our secondary, we've moved some people around back there. The one steady force back there has been Haruki Nakamura, who's our free safety, a wide receiver, and a defensive back. Offensively in the backfield, right now we're using 2 juniors, Paxton Rose and Greg Miranda. Kyle Scozen's a junior quarterback, so we've been pretty young back there. And in a fullback position, we've been shifting guys around too. But on the O-line, we have some young guys. A kid named Troy Gannon's a junior tackle. a senior center, John Coyne. Big Nick Lembach's about 290, a senior left guard, and Alex Boone, the tackle, are two of our real big, strong guys up there, and Ed Wisniewski's a junior guard on the other side. So that's pretty much our lineup there. And Joe Kleinsmith is a corner, and he's our punter, and he's also our field goal kicker.
Let's talk about tonight's ball game against Cathedral Prep. They put on quite a show here last week against St. Ignatius. What's your scouting report and what you'll have to do against the Ramblers this evening?
Well, you know, they're obviously a very physical team. They played an attacking defense and really got up and blitzed and manned up on the Ignatius receivers a lot. So their defense, I thought, was very aggressive. Of course, Brian Hoyer is a fantastic quarterback, and even though he took a lot of hits, he was able to get the ball off, and as you can see, he can fling it. Prep's offense, I think they're very physical. You know, you have a tailback like Buckner and a quarterback like Dance. Tight end's a very tough player too. So I think they're just a old style. Here's a tight end eye. You don't see as much of that nowadays. And they're going to line up and come at you, but they can throw the ball down the field too on play action.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck. It's nice to see you here in Erie, Pennsylvania. You look for a big crowd and continued success at St. Ed's.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be back with more right after this on the Image Sports Network.
Conway O'Malley Tires and Auto Service has everyday low prices on brand name tires, including Goodyear, Dunlop, Lee, and more. So the next time your car, truck, van, or SUV needs tires or auto service, take it to Conway O'Malley Tire. With 3 family-owned locations, you'll always find what you need with expert service. Come see the car care professionals today at Conway O'Malley Tires and Auto Service.
Now, more than ever, the fun starts here. Introducing the new Roadrunner, the exciting high-speed online service that puts broadband at your command. Just click to instant video of breaking news, sports, and entertainment, your favorite music, local events, the ultimate information finder, even your own personalized homepage. The new Roadrunner. The fun starts here. Coming soon to Erie. Visit our website to pre-register and catch the fun.
Beep, beep. Okay, time for a little role playing. Harold, you be the installer. Sarah, you're the customer.
Sure.
Go.
What? You mean I have to buy extra equipment for extra sets?
Yeah.
And I have to pay for local channels?
Yeah.
I can lose signal when it rains, I'm responsible for maintenance, and I have to sign a contract?
Questions about satellite dishes? Adelphia Digital Cable's the answer.
Well, do something.
With me on the Image Sports Network is Mike Michler, the head football coach at Cathedral Prep. And Coach, let me first commend you and your coaching staff, your players, on a tremendous ball game last week.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I was proud of our kids' performance, but again, we're here to win football games, and we didn't get that, and hopefully we'll grab one tonight. It's going to be a tough one for us, though.
Reviewing last week's game, I thought the key toward the end, with your platooning the young kids in and out, I think the fatigue factor was the key.
Yeah, I really do too. I mean, our guys, going both ways, and their guys platooning, in their only on offense or defense did hurt us eventually. So, but I think it was just a thing where if we got more reps a week before, we might have been able to, push it through the whole game. But our kids, gave everything they had, and that's all I asked of them. So, I mean, we just came up short.
I know the game plan as far as defense is concerned, you stopped their running game. Unfortunately, their quarterback, probably the best quarterback I've seen here in the stadium since the days of Terry Hanratty.
Yeah, he's Brian Hoer's. He's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. So at the high school level, and I know it's kind of odd for us to challenge him to throw, but at the same time, I'd rather have their passing game than a running game because they're just as good at running the ball, and I thought our boys did a pretty good job shutting that down. So, again, I think it kept us in the game, and eventually it beat us, but we had our opportunities on offense, defense, and special teams to win that game, and that's all you can ask for, and we didn't capitalize. We got to do that this week.
Tonight you're going in the frying pan against St. Ed's, another quality football team from Lakewood, Ohio. What's your game plan, and what's their scouting report?
Oh, I mean, they're a great football team out of Cleveland, and they're extremely aggressive. I'm expecting them to blitz almost every down. They put 8 guys in a box, try to take away our running game, and I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing tonight again. They spread it around. They have a ton of different formations on offense. They got a good quarterback, a good running back, a very good line. So they got a lot of starters back from last year's team that we lost to by 10 points. So we're going to have to play. Better than we did last week to stay in this one. So, hopefully our boys will be ready.
Well, I deserve you a lot of credit on the job you're doing at Cathedral Prep. Again, best of luck to you, not only this evening, for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Again, thanks for covering high school football in Erie, Pennsylvania. So,
thanks, Coach. We'll be back with more right after this on the Image Sports Network.
There's always something exciting happening right here at Humes Chrysler Jeep Dodge Truck in Waterford. Being Daimler Chrysler's largest tri-state superstore means that we earn extra factory-to-dealer incentives, enabling us to always offer you the very best deal. Our 7-acre complex here at Humes is loaded with over 600 of the hottest-selling, most popular vehicles available today. Plus, you can always count on our 57-year history of 5-star service, including your complimentary service loaner. Come see us today. We're only 9 miles south of the Mill Creek Mall on Peach Street in Waterford.
When you want fast, friendly service, shop at Wise Locals Food Mart. The Wise Local family has been serving the needs of their customers since 1904. They always stock the freshest meats and produce, and their bakery can provide everything from cookies to wedding cakes. You don't have to drive a long way for low prices and great service. You just need to shop at Wise Locals Food Mart. Wise Locals Food Mart, family owned and operated since 1904.
You've seen these signs all over the area. More people rely on the experts at Great Lakes Construction for patio rooms and enclosures. Visit our showroom on West 26th. Ask about quality replacement windows from all sides. Bring your questions about roofing and siding too. Great Lakes Construction is proud of their detailed work and service. We invite you to talk to our customers. From roofs to siding to windows and patios.
At Great Lakes Construction, we super serve you.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you wanna holler, hidey-ho. Feed your tummy on the go. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, cold milk in a real cool chug. I'm a chug-a-lugging son of a gun. I said let me have a big old sip. I done a double backflip. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you wanna holler, hide-ho.
Dean's Milk Chug.
Feed your tummy on the go.
Milk where you want it.
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
From Meadowbrook.
And welcome back to Erie's Veterans Memorial Stadium. Adam Marco, Steve Bowen joining you tonight. We've got Cathedral Prep taking on St. Edwards. Edwards coming into the game 3-0. They're number 5 in the Cleveland Plain Dealer poll, number 7 in the Associated Press Ohio poll. As for the Ramblers, 1-1 on the year, and I believe first in the Erie Times News District 10 poll, ahead of General McLean team in action. A very tough game tonight for McLean against Girard. Steve, we've talked so much so far about last week, what happened, and you got firsthand knowledge of what happened in that game. Tell me what your thoughts were going into that fourth quarter when Prep had the lead on St. Ignatius.
Neither team plays a lot of kids both ways, but Prep played probably 5 or 6 kids both ways, and it showed in the fourth quarter. It was simply a question of the depth of St. Ignatius. Prep knew coming into this season that there were some question marks that were going to have to be answered as the season went along, and part of it was who was going to play where and at what point in the game. So I think that it was a question more of St. Edwards or St. Ignatius's depth more than anything else. Plus, they got their running game going. Now, did they get their running game going because Prep got a little gassed or vice versa? Fact of the matter is that on that last touchdown drive, they ran the ball quite effectively. So it was a tremendous game, and certainly no heads to be hung on that one. But I'm not saying this is a frying pan fire situation. They have to come back and face another good team.
And when you're looking at this Prep offense, where do you think the key lies? Is it dance under center, or do we have to put pressure solely on Buckner to get out of the backfield.
Well, Tim Dance is a work in progress as a quarterback, and that showed a couple times last week, and it's going to show as the season goes along. I wouldn't be surprised also as the season goes along when he becomes more comfortable running the offense that you might see them install some option for him. Fact of the matter is, though, is that if you have a back the quality of Tyrone Buckner and an offensive line that really played well last week, if they can repeat that performance this week, I think, honestly, it's going to be a long night for St. Edwards.
Prep gained 300 yards of offense last week, 194 of those yards, I believe, on 23 carries plus a touchdown for Tyrone Buckner. Dance got in on the special teams act, a 94-yard kickoff return.
It was one of those plays that when you know someone has speed and the type of speed that Tom Dance does, you expect at some point in the game that speed's going to show, and it shone on that second quarter kickoff return for the touchdown, the 94 yards, because it was clear at about the 35-yard line that if he could cut to the outside, which he eventually did, it was going to be Katie bar the door, and he blew past everybody.
Now let's flip it and look over at the defensive side. We're going to see a little different lineup here out of the Ramblers defensively. Instead of just a regular 3 or 4 defensive back, they're going to bring 5 into the game a lot of times against this spread offense.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of number 26, Matt Rawn, and in fact he may start. There's an injury question with strong safety James Carson. Not sure up until game time they weren't sure if he was going to play. He has an ankle injury. But Prep's going to try and pressure the junior quarterback Kyle Skozin for St. Edwards, and they're going to try and pressure him by bringing Ron in off the corner and blitz as much as they possibly can. So they did a great job in their blitz package last week against Brian Hoyer. When you figure what Hoyer put up, and the fact that Prep also had 4 sacks, had 2 near interceptions, they played very well defensively. They just came up against a truly stellar quarterback.
And how much pressure do you feel is on this defensive line tonight to open some holes to get to the quarterback, to get in the backfield?
I think it's going to depend on what Ed's runs, honestly, what their package is offensively, because while they do have Skozin and they are going to run out of a lot of different